Hello and welcome to Pabbly Connect. So in this video, we are going to discuss the top 15 Jotform automations that you can set up with Pabbly Connect. So we all know Jotform is one of the most popular online form building application used by a lot of people. So we are going to discuss the best of Jotform automations that are going to help you a lot. So let's discuss a few of them first. So the first automation that we have is creating a ClickUp task on Jotform submission. Let's say you have created an online form using Jotform, using which you are getting some details of the issues or queries from the customer. And you want to create a new card or new ticket in ClickUp for the same details. Now using this automation guys, whenever you are going to receive a new Jotform submission, automatically with the same details, you can create a new task in ClickUp. The next automation that we have is to get Slack notification for new Jotform responses. Let's say you have created a lead generation or contact generation form using Jotform, and you want that whenever you receive a new form submission, you want to update your team members on Slack that a new form response is received. So using this automation, you can do this, that whenever a new form response is received in Jotform, automatically the details of that form submission will be shared on our Slack channel as a message. The next automation that we have is to create a contact in Google Contact from Jotform responses. And this is pretty amazing. Using this automation, whenever you are going to receive a new form submission with the same details, you can add that person as a new contact in Google Contact. The next automation that we have is creating Google Calendar event from Jotform responses. Let's say you or your team members are using Google Calendar to manage all the upcoming events and appointments. So using this automation, whenever you're going to receive a new form submission in Jotform, you can automatically create an event with the same details in your Google Calendar account. In this way, you can sync both the platform according to your choice. The last automation that we are going to discuss right now is adding ActiveCampaign contact using Jotform responses. So using this automation, whenever you receive a new form submission, you can add the same details or add the same person into the email marketing platform like ActiveCampaign or any other CRM platform. So guys, these was just a few of them, but in this complete video, we are going to discuss the 15 best automations with Jotform that you can set up. So without any further delay, let's start with this complete guide, and we are going to show you the step-by-step process that how you can set up all of these automations by yourself.
Hello everyone, today we will learn how to create ClickUp folder when a Jotform entry is submitted. Jotform is a form builder application and ClickUp is a project management software. Now if you use both of these applications, you might want that every time a new form is submitted in Jotform, a new folder should be created in your ClickUp account as well. But since both these applications do not have a direct connection between them, it is impossible to do it automatically, but you have to do it manually every time. But let me tell you, we can actually automate this whole process with the help of Pabbly Connect. We will create such an integration where our trigger will be Jotform, where a new form will be submitted, and our action will be ClickUp, where a new folder will be created. Let us learn how to do it.
So in this video, we will learn how to integrate our Jotforms and ClickUp in such a way that as soon as you get a form submission from your Jotform, that data will be recorded in your ClickUp folder. A new folder will be created in a space. The space will already be existing. Then a new folder will be created, a list, and then a task will be added to that this is the feedback that you have received through Jotform. As you can see, I have already created a feedback form over here. As soon as this form is filled, a new folder will be created over here, and then a list and task will be added. Now how to create this automation? We are going to use Pabbly Connect for that. As you can see, this is the landing page of Pabbly, and on the right hand side you have two options. Sign up for free is for those people who don't have an existing account, but as I have one, so I will click on sign in. This will take me to the login page of Pabbly, where I will just click on sign in with Google, and I will be directly logged in into Pabbly, where I can see all the applications that are provided to you by Pabbly only. Now, because we are going to connect two applications, we will use Pabbly Connect. Click on access now, and then I will be forwarded to the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Here you will see a big blue button where it's written create workflow on your right side. Click on that button and then name your workflow. I'm going to name it as So I have named it as add a new folder to ClickUp for new Jotform submission. So now a blank workflow will be created for you. Here you can see two boxes where it is written trigger and action. Now what is a trigger and what is an action? A trigger is when this happens, which means that whenever this trigger will take place in the application that you're going to choose over here, the workflow will proceed in the direction of the action application and the assigned action will be performed. So our trigger today is Jotform because the work starts from there itself. And the event is going to be a new response. Now you will get a webhook URL. Now what is a webhook URL? This can be called a link which will create a connection between your Pabbly Connect and your Jotform account. So we will use this webhook, and how to use this webhook is written below it. Open your form in the form builder and click on settings tab. So let us follow these instructions. Like, this is the feedback form I have created and I have to integrate this specific form with Pabbly Connect so that whenever this form is being submitted, Pabbly Connect will capture the response over here. So I will go to this form and click on more, where I will get settings. Click on settings and I will be taken to the settings of this specific form only. Here I will find integrations on the left side, and then here I have to search for webhooks. See, this is webhook over here. So now it will ask you for a webhook URL. So you will just copy it from here and go back to the place where you have to paste it and click on complete integration. And see, the integration is ready. Finish this and the webhook is connected. Now as soon as you have copied it from here, Pabbly Connect has started to wait for a response. Now in order to get a response, you have to fill the form. So we'll go back to feedback form and fill it. Now what is your feedback type? For example, this is for some order you are asking. You've ordered something online but you did not get the bill and invoice for it. So you will just click on suggestions and then type that please provide bill and invoice along with the order. Okay, this is your query, and then you can just write your order number for reference. Okay, so like my order number is 23704. Okay, 23704. So this is my order number. I can write my name over here, like I am writing, enter your full name and then your email address. Okay, and submit the form. Now the form has been submitted. You go back to Pabbly Connect and wait for the response, and see, in no time the response is here. First of all, this was the webhook URL. Then the name of the user who has created the form is here. Okay, then the type is web, that the form is submitted through web. Now you come down here and see the name is here, and then you have the email address, the content, the type is suggestions, and all the data that you wanted. So our trigger has worked successfully and efficiently. Now this trigger got a response, and this response has to be forwarded to our action application, that is going to be ClickUp. So choose ClickUp as your action application. And then your action event is going to be create a folder, because first select create a folder and you go back to your ClickUp. See, here you have to create a new space, and then in the space you have to create a new folder, and then in the folder there are lists, and then you add a task to it. Okay, so for that purpose you have to make sure that you already have a space where you want to create a folder. Now here are all the spaces. This is the feedback space that already has been created. Now here you have to create a folder for this feedback form, and then every time a new person is submitting the form, the new feedback data will be added to this space as a new folder, and the content of that feedback form will be inside this folder itself. Okay, so click on connect and then click on add new connection. Now it will ask you for an API token. For that you have to go to the profile icon at the bottom left corner and go to apps, where you will find the API token. So on the bottom left corner you can see your name will come over here. Click on apps, and here you will find the API token at the very top. Now regenerate the token, because you are going to create a fresh token for a fresh new workflow. Copy that and paste it over here. Click on save and see. Now it is connected. This is the name of your workspace. Yes, this was the name of our workspace, ClickUp workspace. Now which space you want to send your data to? So the space name was feedback. So you can just click on this drop down menu and select the name of your space. And then comes the folder name. So you have to give this name of the folder on your own. So it will be good if you choose the name of that person. See, the name was splitted in first and second name. So you will choose both the names like this. Don't worry, it won't come as a raw request Q8 name first. No, just the names will come. Okay, that will be Sia, John. Then click on save and send test request and see that folder will be created. But the data has not been sent yet to that folder, which means our form has not been completely utilized. So what are we going to do? Save this step right here and come to the next action step, that is going to be creating a list inside that folder. So you go to select ClickUp again. Action event this time will be creating a list. So you can just type and create a list. And then the same process, we will click on connect. And now, but you don't have to search for an API token again, because in the same workflow, we are already having the connection of ClickUp. So we are just going to select existing connection and click on save. This way it will automatically be connected to your existing ClickUp account. Now this is the workspace name. Change it to feedback. And then the folder name is this. Okay, list name over here is the list that you want to create. A new list has to be created. Just click on Jotform new responses and select the name of your list. So let us just say it is a feedback form. So this is the name of the list. Now list information is going to be what is going to be inside the list. So you can just add it by mapping only. So form title you have mapped, and now you have to map the identity of that specific. So like you can say it as a suggestion. Okay, list info is suggestion. Now we are doing this mapping. What is mapping? Mapping is actually creating a pathway for the data to reach its exact and correct destination. Like if I enter the name of the list manually, right, like I type it right now, so it is going to be the same for every new feedback form. But we don't want the name to be same for every form, because the form is being submitted by different people. So what are we going to do? We are going to map it from here. That will make sure that every time a new form is submitted, this data will be according to what were the submissions by that person. Like we were here for suggestions. If the type is different, there is a question, there is a query. So the list info will be titled as a query or a question. But right now it is a suggestion because this is our case. That is why we have mapped it. Now you want to set the priority, so you can just set it to normal because it's just a feedback. Now we did not enter any due date, and it is not a task that has to be completed. It is just supposed to be checked because it is a feedback. So no due date, and just click on save and send test request. Now what will happen is that this is the ID that you have got. Now you just have to make sure that you pay attention to the ID every time. This will be useful in the next step. Now this is the name of the list. The content was suggestion, and therefore the whole information is here. But the content, the main content that was a suggestion, is still not retrieved. So you click on save and then come to the next action step. You are creating a chain of folders, list and task inside ClickUp only. So choose your action application again as ClickUp, and the event right now is going to be creating a task. Okay, so you click on connect, same way selecting existing connection, and then click on save. So now you have to pay attention to multiple things because you have to map this data. So for that, what you are going to do, just enable this map. Okay, the space is going to be the same. So just select your space as the feedback space, because every time a new folder is created, it will be created in this space only. But the folder name and list name you have to map. So this data has been entered there automatically, but you have to map this. So when you click on it, it will provide you this list of all the previous steps from where you have to choose the name. Because if you choose that name only which was there, so a new folder will be created in the space, and then every time you submit a new form in Jotform, the data will go to the same list again and again. So if you use the list ID, then every time a new ID is created over here, that ID will be used to create a list inside, and then that list ID will be used to be creating a task inside it. So the folder name will be here from create a folder, and this was the ID of the newly created folder. And then you have to map the list name. So again, create a list and then select the list ID. So it will be the newly created list only where the new task is going to be created. Now task name you can map or enter manually, but you can just take it from the Jotform response and take it as the email. Okay, the email is the task name, so that you know that okay fine, this is the person's name and this is how you identify that this is the task that was sent by so and so person. Now comes the description. So the description is going to be what? The important data, that what was the suggestion actually. So it was the suggestion that please provide bill and invoice along with the order, and the order number is also given. Now you can assign it to somebody in your ClickUp space only. So I'm assigning it to this person. No tags, setting the priority back to normal, and no due date. Just choose no over here because no due date is required for this purpose, and just click on save and send test request. Now you will get a new ID, and this ID is for your task. There is no need to use this ID anymore. This is the name of your task. This is the content of the task, and further information is here. Now you just click on save over here. This completes our workflow right here. You go back to your ClickUp and see. Just refresh it and see. This was the name of our folder we created. The list name was feedback form, and then it was a type of suggestion. So it is suggestions. Then this is the task that we have created with the name of that person, whosoever email it is. You open it, it has been assigned to this person, and then the content and the order number is also here. So whatever we entered is transferred successfully to its correct destination. So let us go back to Pabbly Connect and do a quick recap of the whole workflow. Okay, so our workflow was in 4 steps. First, the trigger, that was the Jotform. You created a new form using Jotform and then integrated it using the Webhook URL. And then the response was received, which was further transferred first to create a folder in ClickUp. Then we created a list in ClickUp, and then we created a task in ClickUp. And that is how our new folder was created with the new list and with the new task as well. So this was the whole workflow. I hope this helped.
In this video, we are going to see how to get Slack notifications for new Jotform submissions. So let's say that every time a new form is submitted, and here we have used a Jotform, which is a form builder application. You can use any other form builder application as well. So the form is submitted. Let's say it's a contact form. So you have received the details of the user. Now you want to send those details to your team sitting on Slack, which is again a social messaging service. And here you want to update them so that they can follow up later. For this, you will have to integrate the two applications, and the same thing can be done using Pabbly Connect software. Here your trigger application will be Jotform and your action application will be Slack. Now how can you do this yourself, integrate and automate this entire process? To understand that, let me take you to my screen.
To begin with the process, we are first going to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and as we do that, here we have reached the landing page of this software. On the right hand side, you can see 2 options, sign in and sign up for free. So if you are an existing user, simply click on sign in. If you are a new user, click on this tab sign up. It won't take more than 2 minutes, and also at the time of account creation, you will get 100 free tasks. So now I'm going to click on sign in. And as I do that, here we have reached all applications page. Since we are doing this integration using Pabbly Connect software, let's click on Pabbly Connect. And here we have reached the dashboard of this application. On the right hand side, we have a tab create workflow. Let's click on this, and a dialog box has appeared which is asking us to name this workflow. Now here my objective is get Slack notifications for new Jotform submission. So let's say that every time a form is submitted, so we have got the details of the user. This is a contact form. So now I have got the details and I'm sharing this with my team so that further they can follow up with the lead. So let's click on create, and as we do that, here we have reached another window which has got 2 extremely important events. One is trigger, another one is action. Triggers and actions are basically those 2 principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger is when this happens, action is do this. Basically action here is the response of your trigger application. Now as per this integration, my trigger application will be Jotform. So let's click on this, and the trigger event here would be new response. So here you can see that we have received a webhook URL. So I'm going to copy this, and what we are supposed to do, so it is asking me to open my form in the form builder and click on the settings tab, go to the integration, search for webhook and paste the above URL in the add webhook field. So now I'm going to take you to my Jotform account. So here I already have created a form. The name is contact form. You can create your own form by clicking on this orange tab. So now I'm going to go to edit form. Now here you can see that I have the following fields: first name, last name, then email address and phone number. Now we are going to go to settings, and again on the left hand side we have integrations. Now here we are going to look for webhooks. Here it is. And here this particular URL that we have just received, I'm going to copy this once again and paste this over here. Let's click on complete integration. So once this is done, you can see that you have successfully created your integration. Let's click on finish. So now I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect. Now it is saying that do a test submission so that the data can be recorded here in the webhook response, which basically means that now I have to fill up the form. So for this, I'm going to go to review form. Now this link, let's click on this. So it has opened in a new tab, and now I'm going to fill up this form. Let's say the name here is smart user. And then the email address is smartuser@pabblytudes.com. And here we have the phone number. Let's click on submit. So here we can see that the form has been submitted. Going back to Pabbly Connect, let's see if we have received the API response. And yes, here we have received the same. So this is our webhook URL. Then as I take you down, this is the username, submission ID. Then again here we have the first name, last name, email address and phone number. So once we have received this information, what is my objective? I want to send a message on Slack telling my team about this new user. So I'm going to choose my action application as Slack. Let's click on this. And the action event here would be to send channel message. Let's click on connect. So here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with a Slack account. I'm going to click on add new connection. Now let's click on connect with Slack. So here it is asking me for the token type. I have already logged into my Slack account and I'm going to use this token type as user. Why? Because whenever I'm sending a message to my team, it may or may not contain some videos, URLs, documents, etc. So for these reasons, we prefer to choose user. Let's click on save. So here Pabbly Connect is requesting permission to access the Pabbly Slack workspace. So I'm going to click on allow. This is the workspace that I have created in Slack. Here you can see that the authorization has been successful, which basically means that Slack is now connected with Pabbly Connect. And now we have to fill in this information, the channel, message, image URL, etc. To understand this, let me first take you to my Slack account. So here you can see, so this is my Slack account. I have chosen this workspace and this here is the workspace. You can see that there are various channels created here, and recently I have created a channel. The name is Jotform Submissions. You can create your own channel by clicking on this add channels tab, and then you can add a few members. Now I'm going to go back to Pabbly Connect, and here I'm going to first select the channel. So here it is, Jotform Submissions. It is here. Now what is the message that I wish to send to my team? Dear team, we have received a new lead. Now let's add the details. The first thing that we wish to add is the name. So how do I do it? I'm going to map this information. What is mapping? I have this information already in the previous step and I'm just going to retrieve it here. So I'm going to click on the first previous response, and then this here is the first name. Let's give a space, go back to the previous response, and this here is the last name. Then once this is done, we want the email address. So let's map the same. Again, let's go to the previous response, and here is the email address. Then we need the mobile number. So I'm going to write mobile number, and as I go to the previous step, this here is the mobile number. Now I'm going to write regards. So basically this is how every time a new lead is received through the form submission, your team will be shared the details. So here, once this is done, now you can add the other information. If you want to add any image, you can add the URL here, text here, bot name, bot icon, etc. Why have I mapped this information? So that every time the workflow runs, it can take the new data into consideration. If I had written this manually, then it would have never taken the new data. That is it. Now I'm going to go down, click on save and send test request. And as I do that, here you can see that I have received the API response which says that now a message must be sent to my team sitting on Slack. Let's go and check the same. So yes, here is the message. This basically means that our integration is a success, but we also need to check the same in real time. So I'm going to go back to Jotform, and here I'm going to fill up another form. Let's say this time the first name is test, last name is new. Then we have the email address which is testnew@pabblytudes.com, and then we have the phone number, and now I'm going to click on submit. So as we do that, what should happen? A message should be received on Slack. Let's go and check the same. And yes, you can see we have received a new lead. These are the details. testnew@pabblytudes.com. This is the mobile number and regards. So I hope this is absolutely clear to you. Let's go back to Pabbly Connect and understand what we have done. So this is an extremely easy two-step integration process where our trigger application is Jotform, the event is new response, and our action application is Slack. The event is send channel message. I hope you are absolutely clear with this. If in case you have any doubt, you can refer to the workflow which is given in the video description. You can also clone the same and start to process immediately. Apart from this, if you have any specific integration to work on, you can always write to us.
Guys, if you are using a form to collect contacts or leads for your business and you want to store those contacts in a CRM like ActiveCampaign, this automation tutorial video is for you, because here I am going to show you how you can add the new Jotform submitters as contacts in ActiveCampaign application automatically. So this automation video is going to save your time, and you do not have to manually add the contacts that you're collecting via form submission into any CRM. It will happen automatically because we are going to create a workflow by integrating Jotform with ActiveCampaign, and we are going to set up this integration super simply without any coding. So without any further ado, let's begin. To set up this automation, we are using Pabbly Connect, which is an automation and integration tool, and this is the landing page of Pabbly Connect, and I'm going to paste the same link in the description as well so that you won't miss out on this offer that going on. And from here you can sign up for free, and you will get free automation tasks as well every month to test and set up your automations. So you can just sign up right now from the given link, and after that you just have to sign in and then select Pabbly Connect product, and you will reach the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. From here guys, you have to click on this create workflow button, and here you can give a suitable name to your workflows as well. So here I'm going to give a name as Jotform submitters to ActiveCampaigns. I hope I'm writing the spelling correctly. ActiveCampaigns contact. Alright, so after giving such names, you have to just click on this create button, and you will see your workflow page will load up like this. And on this page guys, you will find these two modules or windows known as trigger and the action. So our automations are based on these two things only. So trigger is that event which is going to start a workflow, and the action will be the automated response or the consequence of the trigger. So here guys, in our use case, getting a form submission via Jotform will act as a trigger to this workflow, and the action would be to add the person who have submitted the form as a contact in ActiveCampaigns. Okay. So first of all, here we need to choose the trigger application. In this case, Jotform is our trigger application. So search for Jotform here. Alright, then select the trigger event as new response, and it will give you this Webhook URL. With the help of this, we are going to create a connection with Jotform application, and you need to follow these instructions written here to create this connection. Okay. And after getting it connected with Pabbly Connect, we are going to capture the response of that connection. I'll show you. Here, first of all, you need to open your Jotform application's form builder. This is a form I am using for creating contacts. Here, you will find the settings tab. Click on form settings. And on the left hand side panel, you will find this integrations tab right here. Click on it. Under integrations, you have to search for webhooks. Here you can see the webhooks tab. you have to open it, and you can see a previous integration is already up and running here. So let me remove this previous integration. All right, to create a new integration, just search for webhooks, and here you will find this add webhook field. So here you have to erase this field completely, okay? And now you can copy this webhook URL from your workflow, and you have to paste this URL here in this field like this, and then click on complete integration, and you can see the integration is ready. Now you can click on finish. All right, and here you can see as we have copied the URL, it started showing waiting for the webhook connections response. This means, guys, now we can perform a test submission. Test submission means now I'm going to open my form and I'm going to fill the form manually, and you have to do it only once just to capture the test response, okay, to set up this automation further. So let me just publish the form and let me open it in a new tab. This is the form. Let me just fill in some sample details. So I'm adding the name of the person as demo person. This is the email address, and here let me fill in this number and clicking on submit, and you can see the form submission has been received. Let me show you in the workflow if we got the form's response captured, and here you can see the form response just got captured like this, and here you will find the details of the form submission like this. The last name, the first name, the email address, the phone number, all the things are captured here like this. Now guys, I want to create a contact with the help of this information in ActiveCampaign's application. So our action application will be ActiveCampaigns. So search for ActiveCampaigns here. Then select the action event as create a contact. Then click on connect. From here, select add new connection, and here it will ask for the API key of ActiveCampaign account and your ActiveCampaign account's URL here. So you need to follow these instructions written here to get these two things. Let me show you directly. This is ActiveCampaign application, guys, and here on the left hand side panel you will find the settings option. Click on settings and the settings page will open up. Under settings page you will find the developer option right here. Click on developer, and here is the API key. You can see, just click on copy API key and paste this key here in this field like this. And after that, go back to that page, and here you will find the URL as well. Copy the URL and paste it here like this. And now you can see the example. This is how you have to enter the URL. You have to remove this leading HTTP address. So remove this HTTP address, and from here this will be your URL just like given in the example. Now click on save button and you will be connected with ActiveCampaigns. You can see we are connected. Alright, and here it started showing these four fields: the email address, first name, last name, and the phone number. So to create a contact in ActiveCampaign, you need to have these things added. So we got the test data captured here of a form response in the first step, and I'm going to map these labels that I have received here, and I'm going to map these labels in these fields to create a contact automatically. So to map labels, you just have to click here, and you can see the previous step is appearing here in the drop down, and when you click on it, you will find all the data like this. So from here, click on this email label to map it. Similarly, map the first name, the last name, all right, and the phone number. Also, so guys, when you map the labels like this, what will happen in real time after setting up this workflow, whenever you are going to receive a real form submission from a real person, these labels here are going to be updated automatically and new contacts will be created in ActiveCampaigns. Okay, that's why we map labels here. Now, to check the connection with ActiveCampaign, we have this save and send test request button here. By clicking on it, you can create a new contact here in the contact lists of ActiveCampaign. Let me show you the contacts list. So right now I have two contacts here. Let me just click on save and send test request, and let's see if we got a new contact added or not. So this is how we have received the response here. Let us check the ActiveCampaign's list again. Let me refresh this contact section. Alright, and here you can see guys, we got a new contact added named as demo person. This is the email address and this is the details. So this is the same contact that we have filled here in the form submission, and it got added here like this. So this is how it is going to work in real time. Okay, so you have to set up this automation only once. After that, you do not even have to open this workflow. It is going to silently run in the background. And whenever you are going to receive a form submission, that contacts will be created in ActiveCampaign automatically. And guys, you can use this workflow as well, as I'm going to paste the link of this same workflow in the description. And you can clone this workflow in your own free Pabbly Connect account and start using this automation instantly.
Hello everyone, today we will learn how to create Google Calendar event from new Jotform submission. Now Jotform is a form builder application and you all know what is the purpose of Google Calendar. And if you want that every time you receive a new form submission about any inquiry or any event, then that event should be added in your Google Calendar. But this cannot take place automatically because both of these applications do not have a direct connection between them. But what if I tell you we can actually automate this process with the help of Pabbly Connect? We will create such an integration where our trigger will be a new form submitted in Jotform and then our action will be a created event in our Google Calendar. Let us learn how to do it.
So I will show you how you can integrate your Jotform and Google Calendar in such a way that if you are filling up a form, then that information will be used to create an event in your Google Calendar. For example, I have several other forms created over here in my Jotform account, and I will be using my car service booking form over here. I have opened by the link of this form in a separate tab. This is the form that we will be filling, and then this information and this date and time will be used to create an event over here. So let us do it with the help of Pabbly. This is the landing page of Pabbly, and on the right side you can see two options available: sign up for free and sign in. If you don't have an existing account, you have to click on sign up for free. From there you can get some of the free tasks. Because I'm already having one, I will click on sign in and I will be taken to the login page, and clicking on sign in with Google, I will be taken to this page where I can see the applications provided by Pabbly. Because we are going to connect two applications, we will be using Pabbly Connect for that purpose. Click on access now and then I will be taken to the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Reaching here, you can see that a big blue button is there on the right side where it's written create workflow. Click on the button and then give a suitable name to your workflow. I will be giving it as Create Google Calendar Events from Jotform Submission. This is the name I've given. Click on create and a blank workflow will be created for you. Here you will see two boxes. One has trigger written over it and the other has action. What is this trigger and action? A trigger is when this happens, and action is do this, which means that a trigger event will take place in your application that you're going to choose over here. It will also be called as your trigger application. Then you have your action application, and whenever that trigger takes place in your trigger application, it will move ahead towards the action application and the assigned action will be performed over here. So in this case, our trigger application is Jotform, because the form that has been created in Jotform will be filled. That information will be fetched by Pabbly Connect over here, and then it will be further transferred to Google Calendar to create an event. So the trigger event will be new response. Now you will be having a webhook URL in front of you. Now this webhook URL can be called as a link that will connect your Pabbly Connect and your Jotform. You will be using this in the following way. You will go back to Jotform and then choose the form that you're going to work upon. Like we are choosing car service booking form. Go to more on the right side and then choose settings from here. When you come here to settings, you have to go to integrations on the left panel seen over here. When you reach here, you have to search webhook in the search panel. Click on this webhook and then you have to place or paste your webhook over here that you have copied from your Pabbly Connect. So when you click on copy, it will start waiting for a response, which means that it will start waiting for any new submission by any customer in the form that you have created. Copy this from here and see the waiting has been started. Now you go back here and then paste your webhook over here and click on complete integration. It will take 2-3 seconds and say that integration is ready. Click on finish and then come back to Pabbly Connect. Now that it is waiting, you have to go back to this form that we were supposed to fill and then submit the form. Now let us say that I'm available on 17th to give my car for servicing and the chosen time is 9:30 a.m. for me. So I have chosen this time. I will choose the vehicle type, that is sedan. My car is sedan. I will choose the vehicle number over here, and then the model number is Honda Amaze VX. This is the model I have chosen. Now I will choose all the services that I want to be done in my vehicle. So I will choose that check the battery, grease and lubricate components, and check lights, wipers and others. So these three functions are needed to be checked. And if you want to add any special instruction, then you can add that my car needs a good wash. Full stop. So this is the instruction that I have included. Now I will enter the details of the customer. So if I'm the customer, so my name is Sam George. I will enter my phone number and then my address. This is my address and I will click on book now. So it says thank you, your submission has been received. Now that you have submitted the form in Jotform, because we have integrated it using the Webhook URL, this response will be captured in our Pabbly Connect, and as you can see that over here the response has been received. So the name of the vehicle, the details of the vehicle, the phone number, the name of the customer, the address, and all the details, what needs to be done, what are the special instructions, all have been recorded over here. So which means that our trigger application ran successfully. So we can close this window for now. But now we will be adding our action application. But before that, remember that in this response, you were able to see the date when you want to give your car for servicing. But then when you need to pick up the car back, when you need the car back, you have to specify that as well in your Google Calendar. When you will be creating an event in your Google Calendar, you have to mention the end date as well. And the format has to be in UTC format because Google Calendar requires the date and time in the UTC format. So what are we going to do? You will be adding a step over here of the date time formatter. Date time formatter is a feature that is built inside Pabbly itself. You have to choose the event as format date only because we only need to change the format of the date. It is required in the UTC format by Google Calendar and it is in that format only. Click on connect. No separate way of connecting is required. Now you have to do a little bit of mapping. Mapping is actually that when this date is given over here that you want your car to be serviced on this date. But this date will be different for some other customer because they will be booking some other slot, some other time and some other day. So for that purpose, we will map the data and not write one specific static data. How are you going to do it? You will just see that when you click on this empty field, it will ask you to insert data from the previous step. And for that inserting, they will provide you this drop down menu of all the responses that you have received in your previous step. So select the information from that and map it right over here. Now you have to choose that what format is the date already in. It is in this format. And then you have to choose the format to which you want it to be changed. So we will click on save and send test request and see that yes, the date has been changed in this format. Okay, we will click on this step and also we need an end date. So again, we are going to add a step of date and time formatter because it will help us to add time to that. For example, how much time will it take for the car to be repaired? So we will add and subtract time. We'll choose this event, connect it to Pabbly Connect again, and then we will enter this date because now we have the transformed date over here, the formatted date over here. So you will map it from the date time formatter and choose this result. This is the date that you want to add or subtract the time into. So this is the start date that we already have. Now what is the expression, which means how much more or less you want to make this date. So we want the end date after 2 days. So it will give you an example like plus 1 month, minus 2 days, or hours, whichever way you want. So we will write plus 2 days. Okay, so we want that this is the start date and add 2 days to this date, then it will become the end date of the servicing. The format will be this and the from format is going to be the same. Why? Because we don't need to change the format. The format has to be in this way only. Click on save and send test request and see. It will give you the date as 19th. We have chosen the start date as 17 and the end date is 19. The time did not change. The pickup time is same as the dropping time. We will click on save. So our formatting is done till here. We will add now our destination or our last step, that is called Google Calendar. choose your action application as Google Calendar and add the event as create an event over here. Now when you connect it, you have to choose the simple Google connection way. Click on sign in with Google, choose your Google account from here and allow. And your accounts are connected now. Now you have to fill in further credentials over here that will be required to create an event. When you come back over here and click on this plus button in your Google Calendar and click on event, it will give you this form to be filled, but you are not going to fill this form every now and then. So see, they will need a title, the time, the end date and the start date and all the other information like the location or some other description. So we'll close this because we were just checking that these are all the information that is required basically to fill or to create an event. So what is the title? The title can be the name of the person. So we will enter the name of the person. What it was? Sam. And then the next was George. Okay, this is the title. This is the name of the person. In description, you can enter the details of the car. So you can say sedan and keep giving space because otherwise it will appear like a paragraph. The name of the car, give some more space, and then you can add all the other details like, first of all, enter slash and n. This will do the work of enter key in your keyboard, which means that whatever you're going to type after n will appear in the next line under sedan and Honda Amaze VX. Okay, so now we will write all the important things like what needs to be done. So we will write list of services colon and then again we'll put slash and n. Okay, and then we'll start writing like this, then slash n. Then what else was required? Grease and lubricate slash n. Then again one more thing was left and check the battery and then slash n, and you can also enter the notes from here that my car needs a good wash. So we have entered everything over here. Now what is the location? The person was living somewhere near South Mumbai, so we are entering the location as well. Now we will enter the start date and the end date. So we took the start date from our date time formatter in the first place. See, you can compare the format over here. They have given you this format that your time needs to be in this format and it is correctly the same. The end date was taken out from the second date time formatter and this is the end date over here. Now what is the time zone? The time zone was UTC, so you will just choose that. Any guess that you want to add, but remember in guess section don't enter any name. You have to enter the email address of that specific person. We did not fill any email address, so you can leave this field empty and no other thing is required to be filled. So you will just click on save and send test request over here and wait for the response from Google Calendar and see. First of all, check for any errors over here. If it says any error, then you have to check into what the error is. But if it doesn't show any error, which means our workflow has been successfully completed, we click on save to save our work till here. And then we'll go back to our Google Calendar to check that is there an event? Yes, Sam George is our customer. And you can just open this event and see. The location is here. The start date and the end date is also given over here. It's the model name and list of services are over here. So this calendar will remind us 10 minutes before this time that has been registered over here, which means that an event has been created by the submission that we received from our Jotform. So let us close all these windows and do a quick recap of the whole workflow that we did. First of all, our trigger application was Jotform. We have already prepared a new form in our Jotform application and then we filled that form after we connected or integrated it using the Webhook URL. Further, we changed the date time with the help of date time formatter and then we added the end date by adding 2 more days to the existing date with the help of date time formatter again by Pabbly. And then in the end, we had our action application that was Google Calendar. We created an event in our calendar and we mapped the correct information, the title, the description, the location, the start and end date, and changed the time zone to UTC. Clicked on save and send test request. This response was received and yes, we went back to check that yes, an event has been created with that information that was retrieved or captured by Pabbly Connect from Jotform form submission. So this was the whole workflow. I hope it helped.
Hello everyone, today we will learn how to update HubSpot contact from Jotform submission. Suppose that you are submitting a form and entering your details to have some correction in your contact, and you want that contact that exists in your HubSpot account should be updated automatically whenever a new form is submitted. But it cannot take place automatically because both of these applications do not have a direct connection between them. But what if I tell you to ease your problem that we can automate this process with the help of Pabbly Connect? We will today create such an integration where our trigger will be a new form submitted in Jotform and our action will be to update a contact in your HubSpot. Let us learn how to do it.
So in this video, I will teach you how can you update a HubSpot contact using any Jotform submission. Today we will be using Jotform as a form builder application, and HubSpot, as you all know, is a CRM application. Here are certain contacts that have already been created. Now suppose that any person who submits in the Jotform for a correction in their detail. So we will use that information from the Jotform submission to update that specific contact over here. Either the phone number will be updated or the name will be updated for that specific contact. We will be doing this with the help of Pabbly. As you can see, this is the landing page of Pabbly, and on the right side you have two options: sign up for free and sign in. If you don't have an existing account, click on sign up for free, but since I'm having one, I will click on sign in. This will take me to the login page of Pabbly, where I will just click on sign in with Google, and then I will be logged in into the account. You can see all the applications that are provided to create automation by Pabbly. Today we will be connecting two applications, that is Jotform and HubSpot, so we will be using Pabbly Connect for that purpose. Click on access now and then you will reach the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. As soon as you reach here, you will be able to see a big blue button on the right side where it is written create workflow. Click on the button and then choose a suitable name for your workflow. I'm going to name it as update HubSpot contact from Jotform submission. Click on create and then a blank workflow will be created for you, like you can see on the screen. There are two boxes. One has trigger written over it and the other has action. Now what is this trigger and action? A trigger is when this happens, and action is do this, which means that trigger is an event that will take place in your chosen application that you can call your trigger application. And then when that triggers your application, this workflow will move towards the action application, and the assigned action that you will be assigning for your action application will be performed. For today's automation, our trigger application is going to be Jotform because the updating of the contact will be done through the information that will be captured from the submission of the form. So the event is going to be a new response that will be received from Jotform. Now you have to use this webhook URL provided to you by Pabbly Connect to connect your Pabbly Connect and Jotform account. So for that, you will go to your Jotform account. Like you can see, here are several forms that have been created. I will be using this form on the second number for my automation today. So when you go to this form, you have to click on the more option given to you and then go to the settings. Click on settings and then you will reach this page where you have to find integrations in the left side panel. You have to search for webhooks over here. Click on webhook and then it will ask you to add a webhook URL over here. So remove this part, copy it from here and see that as soon as you click on copy, it will start waiting for a response. So we will go back to our webhook integration and paste it over here. Click on complete integration and then it will take a while and say that yes, the integration is ready, which means that any submission to this form that I have opened over here will be captured by Pabbly Connect and you will get the response right here in front of you in your workflow. So we will fill up this form. So before you fill up your form, remember that you have to choose one contact from here only because we are creating this automation in order to choose one contact from here and update any one detail. Okay, so for example, I'm going to use this person as admin user and this is the email address of this person. So our first name is admin, second name is user, the email address was this. This is the email address of the person and phone number is something that I want to change. Right now, this is the phone number of that person, but I will make it to this is the new and updated phone number that I want to change. I will submit this form and then go back to Pabbly Connect to wait for my response. And see, in no time, the response is right here. the email address of the person, the name of the person, and the phone number. These are the 3 basic details that we required from the form, and they are here in front of us. So, which means that our trigger application has worked successfully. Now we will move on to the second step, that is our action application. But before that, remember that you have to put a filter that only and only if that contact already exists in your HubSpot CRM, then only the updating of the contact has to be done. Otherwise, if there is no contact of same details, then which contact are you going to update from here? If there was no admin user here present, so how are you going to change the contact number for that contact? Right? So we have to put a filter over here. But in order to put a filter, first you have to search a contact for the same name. So our next action will be HubSpot only, but the event is going to be search for a contact with the same details or similar details. So type in the search event field and click on search a contact. Now when you select the event as search a contact, click on connect, add new connection, and then click on connect with HubSpot CRM. It will provide you the options that which is your account, choose your account, and then click on choose. And then the accounts will be connected. The same button that said connect before, it's connected now. And now you have to fill in certain details that will help you find that specific contact. So the matching property, let's say email, because names can be similar, but email is something that is original and unique. So don't get confused for so many email options. You have to choose the simple email, that is this one. Okay, email should be equal to what properties you want after the search and the search value. So first we will put the search value as the email we received from the Jotform response, that was this. We want that search for the email property. Okay, the email should be equal to this given email right here. And what details do you want for that specific contact? You want the first name, choose first name, then again type over here last name, choose last name, and one more thing was there, phone number, and the last one was email. Again, don't get confused, choose the simple alone email, this one. So whenever Pabbly Connect goes to HubSpot CRM to search for an email address which looks like this one that you have received from your Jotform response, that contact's first name, last name, email address, and phone number should be retrieved in the output from here. So we will click on save and send test request and wait for the response. And see, the response is over here. First of all, it says total, which means 1. So one contact exists having the similar email address. And then for that email address, the name is admin. The second name is user. This is the email address. And this is the phone number that is already here. Now we are supposed to change this phone number from here because that contact's phone number has been updated now. First of all, save this step. And now we will put the filter. So we will choose filter over here in the action application. Now filter is a feature that is built inside Pabbly itself. There is no separate way to connect filter by Pabbly because it is inside it only. Now you have to select a label that what should be equal to what over here. That is our Jotform response when comes this email address. It should be equal to the email address that is present in your HubSpot contact, right? Any email address that is received by Pabbly Connect from the Jotform response should be equal to any email address that is present in your HubSpot already. If this is the case, if these two are equal, then only this workflow will proceed forward to update that specific contact. So for this, we will click on save and send test request. And then it will say success. This condition is true, which means for this case that we are right now working upon, both the email addresses are same. So we will save this step. And now we will move to our final destination, that is our action, that is update a contact. So our application is HubSpot CRM and our event is update a contact. Update an existing contact in your HubSpot account. Click on this, click on connect, and now you don't need to connect your account. A new connection is not required over here. Choose select existing connection and save. Now when you save over here, it will ask you for a contact ID. Here a contact ID is given, but for this purpose, our contact ID is adm@pabblytudes.com because this is the email address that we have been working upon since so long in this workflow. Okay, you can read for the hint that select the contact to be updated or enter the existing HubSpot CRM contact. So either you can use the ID that is given over here in your search contact, or you can straight away enter the email address of the person if it is available in the drop down menu here. It was available for us, so we mapped it here only. Now there are so many empty fields in this step, but you don't need to fill all of these. Only look into the details that are required by you. So what are the details? The first name. So you can map the first name from the Jotform response, admin. Then come down to second last name, that is user last name, and then come down to email. Now you don't need to enter email again. Why? Because if you enter email, it will create a separate contact with the same email and the same details but different phone number. Because we have already entered the email address several times in this workflow and also mentioned that the contact that has to be updated is this, the ID of the contact is given over here. So we will no more enter any email address and straight away go to our phone number and update the phone number. So come here to phone number and then search for your phone number from here and enter the phone number. So this is done. Now when this is done, come down to save and send test request. Click on that button and then wait for the response. See, this was the ID of the contact that we saw in the search contact time also. And then you will see that all the responses have been received over here. This is the phone number that is updated. First of all, save the workflow right here. And then we will go to our HubSpot CRM to check if the contact has been updated or not. And yes, see, it just changed right here in front of you. The name is same, the email address is same. There is no contact recreated for the same name, but the phone number has been changed. Okay, so which means that our workflow went successfully. We'll go back to Pabbly Connect. We have already saved the workflow. So let us close all these windows to do a quick recap of our workflow that we just now created. There are so many empty fields over here. All are not necessary for you to be filled. So our workflow went forward in 4 steps. First step was Jotform. We made a form that was to be filled and that responses will be used to update that specific contact. Then we searched a contact with the similar details that we received in the Jotform submission. We used filter by Pabbly to set the rule that only continue if the email address that is received from Jotform is equal to any email address that is already existing as a contact in HubSpot. If that is true, then it will come forward to the last step, that is updating that contact with that email address, and whichever detail needs to be changed will be updated. In our case, today we updated a phone number. So this was the whole workflow. I hope this helped.
Hello everyone, today we will learn how to create Zendesk tickets from new Jotform responses. Now Jotform is a form builder application that you might use to get registrations from different people, and Zendesk is a CRM application. And if you want that, whatever responses you are receiving in Jotform should be added in Zendesk and created a ticket with that information, so that cannot happen automatically and you might have to create a ticket every time manually on your own. But what if I tell you we can actually automate this process with the help of Pabbly Connect? We will be creating an integration where our trigger will be a new form submitted in our Jotform and our action will be to create a new ticket in our Zendesk. Let us learn how to do it.
So let us learn that how can you create a Zendesk ticket when you receive a response from your Jotform. We will be doing this with the help of Pabbly. As you can see, this is the landing page of our Pabbly. On the right hand side, you have 2 options, sign up for free and sign in. If you don't have an existing account, you have to click on sign up for free. Because I'm already having one, I will click on sign in, which will take me to this page where I can see all the applications provided by Pabbly to create automation. We will be using Pabbly Connect to integrate the 2 applications Jotform and Zendesk today. Click on Access Now and that will take you to the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Here you will see a big blue button on the right side where it is written Create Workflow. Click on the button and give a suitable name to your workflow. Create Zendesk tickets from Jotform responses. Click on Create and then a blank workflow will be created for you. Here you can see 2 boxes, one has trigger written over it and the other has action. Now, what is this trigger and action? A trigger is when this happens, and action is do this, which means that whenever you choose an application over here, which will also be called your trigger application, an event will take place in that application, and when that happens, this workflow will move ahead in the direction of the action application, and the assigned action will be performed in your chosen application. So for today's automation, our trigger is Jotform, because a response will be received in our Jotform, and that will be further used, that information that we have received in Jotform will be used to create a ticket in our Zendesk. So first of all, I might remind you that I have already created a form called information request form over here, and I will open this form from this option more and click on publish form. Here I will get a link, and I will open this link in a new tab over here so that I can fill up the form. Now this is an amendment request form. If you want to change any of your personal details like name, email, phone number is given over here, that is the basic detail. But if you want to change any other details, so you can enter the detail in this section and then click on submit. As soon as you submit, Pabbly Connect will capture the response. Okay, so our trigger event will be a new response from Jotform, and then they will provide you a webhook URL. So you have to use this webhook URL to integrate your Jotform and your Pabbly Connect. For that, you have to choose the form that you want to integrate, click on more, and then click on settings. When you reach settings over here, you have to find integrations in the left side panel like I have here, and then in this section you have to search for webhooks. Choose this webhook as your integration, erase this, and then whatever you've copied it from here, this webhook URL will be pasted here in the add webhook section, and click on complete integration, and it will take hardly 2 seconds, and see the integration is ready over here. Click on finish, and then go back to Pabbly Connect. See that it's waiting for a webhook response, which means that now Pabbly Connect is waiting for a response or for a form to be submitted. So we'll go to the form and then enter the details. I will enter as demo, user is the name, the email address, the phone number with the country code. So I am entering as +91 because that is my country code. This is my phone number, and I want to change my address. Okay, so I will first of all mention change in my residential address. Okay, and then new address colon. Now this is not a format that you are supposed to follow. You can enter the details in any way that you want. So the new address is this. Okay, so this is the new address, and I'm submitting the form right here. And see, it says thank you, your submission has been received. For this, we'll go back to Pabbly Connect and wait for the response over here. Give it 2-3 seconds. The response will be right here in front of you. As you can see, we have received a response. This is the number of the person, this is the area code, change in my residential address, and this is the new address. Your message is also here. Then we have the name of the person and the email address of the person. So basically we have all the details that we have entered in the form. Now we will use this information that is captured by Pabbly Connect over here to create a ticket in Zendesk. So click on action application and type over here Zendesk, choose your application, and your event will be to create a ticket. Click on connect and then add new connection. Now you have to enter certain credentials over here, your username, your password, and your subdomain. So for your username, you have to enter the username that you have used to log in into your Zendesk account. Then you have to enter your Zendesk password, and then you have to enter the subdomain. So what will be the subdomain? Here is an example given for your understanding. Like this is the URL of your Zendesk account. So everything which comes after this slash and before this .zendesk is your subdomain. So we'll go back to our Zendesk and click on it. So here you see before .zendesk, select it till the slash, copy it from there, and then come over here to Pabbly Connect and paste it. So this is your subdomain. Click on save and your accounts will be connected. See, now it says connected. Now in Zendesk, you have to understand a very important and crucial step of any workflow that you will be creating in your Pabbly Connect. So you have to do a little bit of mapping. Now what is mapping? Mapping is actually connecting, or better we can say that creating a pathway between two steps of the workflow. Like here we have the trigger and the action application. So whatever response is received in Jotform, that is our trigger, has to be transferred to our action, that is Zendesk. But every time, how can you take the guarantee as the subject of the ticket will come in the right destination only? For that only we are supposed to do mapping. And how are we going to do the mapping? When you click on any blank field, it will ask you to insert data from the previous step. And what was your previous step? Jotform. So right here is given down as a drop down menu. You click on this menu and then they will give you the whole list of responses. So you can just select the subject as information request form. Okay, this was the subject. Now we have the collaborator's email, but it doesn't say required and we do not have any collaborator. So we're going to leave it empty. Just remember, first priority is to fill all the required fields over here. Like requester name is given over here. So what was the requester name? Demo space. And the second name was user. Okay, this is the name. Now email address, again you have to either scroll or you can just type in this search and map data, so it will be easier for you. Now your description is the description of your problem. So the description of your problem was this. Okay, then put a slash and n because there is no space for your phone number, no field. So you can just write here phone number colon and space and map your phone number by looking here. Where is the phone number? This is the phone number. Okay, so phone number is also here. Now what is left? If you want to make this ticket to be public, you can make it public. Otherwise, if you put it to no, it will be only visible to the user of the account. The status is open. And this is not a problem. This is a task that has to be done. Now, is it something somewhere due? So no, nothing information like that has been mentioned that it is due at some date. And you can set the priority to high. Okay, so all this is done. No other required field is left and no other field is needed for our situation right now. So we will just click on save and send test request and wait for the response and see the response is here. First of all, in the responses, look for any error. If it shows, then you can correct it right away, but it shows no error, which means that yes, our workflow has worked successfully and all the details that we have mapped has been transferred to Zendesk to create a ticket has been done. So just click on save over here and then we'll go back to Zendesk to check, go to the home page. And these are the unresolved tickets right here. So first one is information request form. The name was demo user. The type is task and the priority is high. If you open this ticket, you can see change in my residential address. New address is this and this is my phone number. So this is the ticket that has been created with the help of our workflow that we have created right now. Let's do a quick recap. We have already a form created over here. First of all, we opened the form with the help of its link in a separate tab. Then we integrated using this webhook URL. We filled up the form and a response was received like this. We used this information to map in our action application, that was Zendesk. To connect the Zendesk and Pabbly Connect, we used the username, the password and the subdomain of our Zendesk account. Further, we mapped the subject, the requester's name and email and everything. Change the status to open and the type of the ticket to task, and the priority was also set. It just depends on you if you want to make these changes. Further, we clicked on save and send test request and then this response was received, and when we checked that yes, a ticket has been created. So this was the whole workflow. I hope this helped.
In this video, I'll show you how to add Jotform form submissions to Mailchimp email list automatically. So I'm going to integrate Jotform and Mailchimp in such a way that whenever any new form response is received into the Jotform, the same form response will be instantly and automatically created as a contact into Mailchimp email marketing software, so that I don't need to manually export the form submissions data and import into the Mailchimp in order to create an email list. Okay, so if you also want to integrate Jotform and Mailchimp, come with me and I will show you the whole process step by step. Alright, so I'm going to connect or integrate Jotform and Mailchimp with the Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing integration and automation software. Here you can see I'm an existing user of Pabbly Connect, and you can also create your free account in just 2 minutes from the sign up free button, and you will also get free task in the free account. Okay, now once you will reach to the dashboard, simply click on this button that is create workflow and provide any random name to your workflow, to your automation. Okay, so I'm providing the name. I have pasted the name as when form is submitted in Jotform, create contact in Mailchimp. Now click on create, and then you will find 2 boxes in front of you. Okay, so these are triggers and action. So here trigger means when this happens, action means do this. Whenever this happens, then automatically do this. Understand with an example also. Let's say whenever a sale happen in a payment gateway application, then automatically send an email via Gmail application. Okay, so this is how you need to always select the applications in which you are building an automation. Okay, according to our use case, whenever the form response is received into the Jotform application, then automatically send these form responses into the Mailchimp application. Okay, so this is how in this trigger and action you will always have to select the applications in which you are building an automation. And now I am going to connect to Jotform with the Pabbly Connect. Firstly, select a trigger event. Okay, so I want that whenever any new response is received into the Jotform, I'm sorry for that, this automation should trigger and it should capture the details into Pabbly Connect. For that, I'll have to copy this webhook URL which Pabbly Connect has just provided me. Okay, and once you have copied it, firstly read the instructions. Okay, log into the application where you have added the webhook URL and do a test submission or record in that application so that the data can be recorded here in the webhook response. And how we can connect these two, again the instructions are available here. Okay, so follow my instructions, go back to your Jotform application. Now let's say I want to collect the form submission data of this particular form. Okay, this is the online appointment doctor form. Okay, online doctor appointment form. I'm going to edit this form, and here I will directly open the settings section of this particular form. I'll have to wait. Alright, so here you can see the settings tab. From the left hand sidebar you will find the option of integration, and in this integration you will have to search for the webhooks. Okay, so I'm going to delete this existing integration so that I can show you everything from the scratch. Okay, so firstly you will have to search for your webhook. Okay, and once it is open you'll have to paste the same webhook URL which you have received via Pabbly Connect. Now simply click on this green button that is complete integration, and then click on this finish button. Okay, so this is how the connection in between Jotform and Pabbly Connect is successful. Okay, now in order to test this particular integration, I'll have to make a test submission, a dummy submission into this Jotform. Okay, so I'm going to open the same form. Okay, so firstly I'm going to publish this form. Basically I'm going to open this publish section, and here you can see this is the link of that form. Let me open this form in front of you, and then I'm going to submit this form as a dummy user. Okay, assume that I'm someone who is interested in taking this appointment. Okay, so I will submit this form using some dummy or random details. Alright, so I have provided the dummy details. Here you can see as a name I have provided this dummy customer. Also shared the date of birth, the gender is female, the phone number is again a dummy number, just a random number. The email address is demo@pabblytudes.com, and here I have provided the preferred appointment date. Okay, now I will submit this form, and here why it is showing that incomplete values, I'll have to check. Alright, so I have rechecked this form and submitting the details. The form submission is done. Let me go back to Pabbly Connect, and here you can see that response is received as soon as I have made the form submission into my Jotform. Okay, so let me show you the details one by one. Okay, so here we have the submission ID. Let me show you other important details. That is, we have the name of the person. It is the same name which we have provided at the form submission, that is dummy customer. Okay, let me show you other details as well. Okay, so here we have the appointment date, here we have the email address, the phone number, the country code, the gender. Okay, so the presence of this data clearly shows that the connection in between our Jotform form and Pabbly Connect is working absolutely fine, and our first step of automation is also done. Now I am going to send the same data into Mailchimp, and I am going to create a contact. Now in order to create a contact, I'll have to select this add new member subscriber action event with custom fields. Okay, so I have selected the same, and just like we have built the connection in Jotform and Pabbly Connect, now I am going to build the connection in between Mailchimp and Pabbly Connect. Okay, and for the connection, it is asking me the token and the data center. So from where you can get this token, you'll have to read these instructions and you'll also have to follow my instructions. Okay, so this is my Mailchimp account. Click on your profile section, then again visit this profile, and then you'll have to select this extras option which is available at the top, and then click on this API keys, and from here exactly we can generate a new API key. Here you can see lots of API keys have already been generated, but I'm going to create a new one so that I can show you how you can also do that. Simply provide any random name. Okay, connection with the Jotform, how about I provide this particular name. Okay, and simply click on this button, and this is how you will get your token. Okay, so let me paste the same and asking for the data center. Okay, so what is this data center? Example, this basically you can get this data center from the URL. Okay, so this is the URL of Mailchimp account, my Mailchimp account, and I'll have to copy this particular part, that is US6. Okay, so let me paste the same, I'm sorry for that, and make sure you do not include this extra full stop. Okay, click on save, and I'm really expecting this connection will be done immediately. Alright, here you can see it is done. Okay, now it is asking me to select in which particular list you would like to create a contact. Okay, so currently I have a single list only, so I'll go with the same, that is Pabbly Connect, and now I'm going to provide the details one by one. Okay, well, it is asking me lot of details, but I will share only the important details that are actually required for creating a contact into the Mailchimp. Okay, and from where I'm going to provide this detail? Well, remember, we have just received the data from our form submission, and do not worry, I'm not going to manually copy this data and paste it here. I'm going to map it, and mapping is very simple. Simply click on this particular field and you will find the same data, the above data, here in the drop down. Now search for your data. Okay, so with the help of @ I have searched for the email ID, asking for the tags. Well, I'll leave this particular field blank. Select the status of the subscriber. Yes, I would like to keep it as subscribed only. Interest, I'll leave again blank. Asking for the first name, gender name, last name, and mobile. Okay, so let me map these details one by one very quickly. Asking for the first name, it was dummy. Asking for the gender, I think it was female. Okay, let me search for the same, female. Alright, so I have mapped it again. Asking for the last name. Okay, so now you must be thinking that what is this mapping, why I am mapping this data from the dropdown. Okay, so basically in order to execute this automation in real time, I'll have to map this data. Okay, just in case if I will provide these details manually, in that case these details will remain same. Okay, these details will not change, but if you will map any value, the detail will be replaced automatically when this automation will work in real time. Okay, so now let me visit the contact section and let us check how many subscribers I have already. Okay, I just have a single subscriber here, that is Pawan Shinde. Okay, come back to Pabbly Connect, click on this button, save and send test request, and wait for the responses received. Okay, so the response is received already. Now I'm going to refresh my Mailchimp account and wait for that subscriber to be created here into my Mailchimp account. Wait for that contact to be created. Alright, fingers crossed. And here you can see the same person has been created as a contact, as a subscriber into our Mailchimp. Okay, demo@pabblytwitch.com, dummy customer. It is the same phone number, the gender is also here, and this person is actually a subscribed person. Okay, so this is how now onwards, every time someone is going to make a submission in this particular form, that person will be created as a subscriber into the Mailchimp automatically in real time. Now why in real time? Because the trigger here will instantly capture the new incoming data and the workflow execution will start in real time. Okay, so in order to automate this process, you need to create this automation inside Pabbly Connect just once. After that, you can sit back and relax. You can even close Pabbly Connect, because Pabbly Connect will take care of all the tasks in the backend. You do not have to do anything. Just in case if you want to access this workflow, this automation, I will also attach this shareable link. Okay, simply click on this link and
and sign up for free into the Pabbly Connect, and then you will be able to access this workflow, this automation inside your Pabbly Connect account, that too for free.
In this video, we are going to see how to schedule meetings in Google Meet on Jotform submission. So let's say you're using Jotform as a form builder application where every time there's a new response received, then what you want is that with that response, so you have scheduled a meeting, now you want to connect it with Google Meet so that a meet can be scheduled. For this, you will have to integrate the two applications, and the same thing can be done using Pabbly Connect software. So here, your trigger application will be Jotform and your action application will be Google Meet. Now, how can you do this yourself? Integrate and automate this entire process. To understand that, let me take you to my screen.
To begin with the process, we are first going to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and as we do that, here we have reached the landing page of this software. Now on the right hand side, you can see two options, sign in and sign up for free. So if you are an existing user, simply click on sign in. If you are a new user, click on this tab sign up. It won't take more than 2 minutes, and also at the time of account creation, you will get 100 free tasks. So now I'm going to click on sign in as I'm an existing user here. And as I do that, we have reached all applications page. Let's click on access now for Pabbly Connect. Here we have reached a dashboard. On the right hand side, you can see a blue tab, create workflow. Let's click on this. Now what is my objective here? Here my objective is every time I receive a form submission through Jotform or any other form builder application, then with the details received, I want to schedule a Google Meet. So I'm going to name it as schedule meetings in Google Meet on Jotform submission. Let's click on create. So as we do that, here we have reached another window which has got two extremely important events. One is trigger, another one is action. Now triggers and actions are basically those two principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger is when this happens, action says do this. Basically, action here is the response of your trigger application. Now as per this integration, my trigger application will be Jotform. Let's click on this. And the trigger event here would be new response. So this workflow is going to run every time I receive a new response through Jotform submission. Now here you can see that we have received a webhook URL which is going to act as a bridge for connecting Pabbly Connect with Jotform so that Pabbly Connect can have access to the information. So I'm going to copy this, and now let me show you what you have to do. So I'm going to take you to my Jotform account. I already have created a form which is online doctor appointment form. So I'm going to edit this. So here you can see this is the form. I have the following fields: name, first name, last name, then the date of birth. Then we have the gender, phone number, email, and this here is the preferred appointment date and time. Now we have to go to settings first. Here on the left hand panel you can see integrations. Let's click on this. And now I'm going to look for webhooks. So here it is. And the URL that we had just copied, I'm going to paste it over here. Click on complete integration, and as we do that, here we can see that the integration is ready. Let's click on finish. So once this is done, now as I take you back to Pabbly Connect, here it is written that log into the application where you have added the webhook URL and do a test submission so that the data can be recorded here in the webhook response. So I'm going to take you back to Jotform, and here let's go to preview form. Now this is the link, so I'm going to open this in a new tab, and now I'm going to fill up this form. So let's say the first name here is new, the last name here is demo, then we have the date of birth. So this is 1st of February and the year is 2005. What is the gender? It is male. Area code, let's say it is +91, and then the phone number here is this. Now the email address is new demo123@pabblytudes.com. Okay, so let's say the time is 13th and it is at 7 o'clock in the evening. Let's click on submit form, and here you can see that the form has been submitted. Going back to Pabbly Connect to see if we have received the API response. So let's wait, and yes, here we have received the same. So this here is the form details. So first of all, this is the date. So this is basically date of birth. Then here we have the first name and the last name. Then again, as I take you down, this here preferred appointment date, and this is preferred appointment duration. Then we have the phone number. This is the country code. Then this is the gender, and here is the form title and form ID. Now once I have received this information, what do I want? I want to schedule a meeting in Google Meet. So my action application here will be Google Meet. The action event here would be to schedule a meeting. So let's click on connect. As I do that, here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with the Google Meet account. Let's click on add new connection, sign in with Google. So here it is asking me to choose the account. So once chosen, you can see that Pabbly Calendar wants to access my Google account. This is absolutely secure. Let's click on allow. And here you can see that the authorization has been successful. Let's go down. So first of all, the name of the calendar. So you can see that it has already been captured by the system. Now comes the summary. So this is new appointment scheduled. Now we have the description. So what I'm going to do is in the description, I'm also going to add the name of the person. So new appointment scheduled for. Now I'm going to map the information. How? This is the last step. And as I take you down, so this is the first name. Then I'm going to give a space. And this here is the last name. So this is the method with which I have added the information, and this method is known as mapping. This is important so that every time the workflow runs, it can take the new data into consideration. Now the next thing is start time. So here you can see that it is very well written that enter your event start UTC date time value in this particular format. This is TNZ format. So value that we have received here is in a completely different format. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a feature by Pabbly which is date time formatter so that I can change the format of the date and time. So here it is, and the action event would be to format date with time zone. Let's click on connect. Now here it is asking me to map the date. So first of all, let's go to step 1. This here is the preferred appointment date. Now what is this format? This is year, month and date along with time. So this is year, month and date along with time. So this is the format. The next one is the to format. Now it has been specified that we need the information in TZ format. So the to format here would be this. Okay, this is TNZ format. And the next thing is I'm going to take you down the from time zone. So this is Kolkata, Asia, and it is mentioned that the to time zone has to be UTC. So I'm going to mention UTC. Let's click on save and send test request. So here we can see that we have received the information. So this is the date, month, year, and here you can see it is showing me a different time. Why? Because this is the UTC time. Now the next thing is I'm going to go down, refresh this connection by selecting the existing connection, and here I'm going to map the start time. This here is the start time. Now let's say that the doctor is going to take around an hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an hour to the existing time that I have. For this again I'm going to choose date time formatter. Let's click on this, and the action event here would be add subtract time. Let's click on connect. So first of all, the date that I want, so I'm going to go to step 2. This is the date. Now what is the expression? So I want to add time. So here the expression has been given. This is how you have to add time. So basically I have to write plus, but I do not want to add 8 hours. I want to add just an hour. So here it is. Then we have the to format. So what is the to format? It is the TZ format, right? Where it is? So here it is. What is the from format? The from format is again the TZ format. So this here is the TZ format. Now let's click on save and send test request. And as we do that, here you can see that we have received the response. So this is the response. This is the date and this here is the time. So you can see here we had received 4 and this is exactly 1 hour later, which is 5. Now once I have received this, I'm going to again refresh this connection quickly. And once I have done this, here I'm going to map the end date and time. So let's go to step 3 and this here it is. Now the attendees emails. So the person who has just filled in the form, I'm going to enter his email address over here. So let's go down and this here is the email address. Now the request ID. So if you wish to add any request ID, you can always do that. Now the request ID can be the email address because this is going to be unique. So I'm going to add the email address here as well. And once done, let's click on save and send test request. So here I have received the API response according to which a Google Meet must be created. So let's go and check my Google Calendar. So we have to go and check 13th. And yes, here you can see for 9:30 to 10:30 an appointment has been scheduled. So this basically means that our integration is a complete success. Here we can see that this is the guest. We have added the email address of the person and there is a reminder for 10 minutes before. So yes, our integration is a success, but we also need to check the same in real time. So I'm going to take you back to Jotform, and here I'm going to fill this form once again. Let's say the first name this time is Smart, then the last name here is user, date of birth here is 14th September 2007. Then what is the gender? It is male. This is the area code. This here is the phone number, and then the email address. So the email address is smartuser123@pabblytudes.com. And now the preferred appointment date. Let's say the appointment is for 13th only and the timing is 8 o'clock. I'm going to submit the form. So the form has been submitted. As soon as this has been submitted, what should happen? Automatically a Google Meet link should be provided. So let's go and check our calendar. So here you can see from 10:30 to 11:30 another appointment has been scheduled. This basically means that our integration is a success. Going back to Pabbly Connect, let's quickly understand what we have done. So here our trigger application is Jotform, where the event is new response. Then our action application was Google Meet, where the event was schedule a meeting. Here we have used date time formatter twice. Once to format date with time zone, and then to add or subtract time, because we had to add an hour to the existing time. I hope this is absolutely clear to you. If in case you have any doubt, you can refer to the workflow which is given in the video description. You can also clone the same and start to process immediately. Apart from this, if you have any other specific integration to work on, you can always write to us.
Hello everyone, today we will learn how to create Jira issues from Jotform submission. In this video, we will learn how can you integrate Jotform and Jira software in such a way that every time you receive a form submission from Jotform, then an issue is created in Jira software. We will be creating this automation with the help of Pabbly Connect. Here our trigger will be the new form response of Jotform and our action will be create issue in Jira software. Let us learn how to do that.
So let us create this integration where every time this form is filled with any problem or any query by the customers, then in your Jira software, an issue will be created for that specific one. Like over here, you can see the summary is server down, and when you open this issue, it will describe that the transaction has been failed. So some customer might have submitted this issue using this form. So we are going to do this or create this automation with the help of Pabbly. Let us quickly sign in into our account. So that I'll reach this place where I can see all the applications provided by Pabbly. We are going to use Pabbly Connect to create this automation. Click on Access Now, and then we will reach the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Here you can see a big blue button on your right side where it's written Create Workflow. Click on the button and give a suitable name to your workflow. I'm going to name it as Create Jira Issues from Jotform Submissions. Click on Create, and then a blank workflow will be created for you. You can see on your screen you have Trigger and Action window. Trigger says when this happens, action says do this, which means in your trigger application, when this event takes place or when this happens, the action application will do this action that you are going to assign. So here our trigger application is going to be Jotform. Choose your trigger application as Jotform, and the event will be the new response received. Now, Pabbly Connect will provide this webhook URL to you that you will be needing to connect Pabbly Connect and Jotform. Like I have created this form over here. Now, every time this form is submitted, the response will be sent over here to Pabbly Connect so that it can capture the response and then transfer it to the action application for the information that is required to create the issue. So for that, this webhook URL will be used in the following ways. You go to the form builder here and then go to settings when you have completed the form. And then on the left side panel, you can see integration. Click on integrations. In your integrations, you have to search for webhooks. Click webhooks, and then in this add webhook section, you have to copy this webhook URL from here and paste it here in the empty section. Click on complete integration, and then the integration is ready. Click on finish and see it has started to wait for a response over here. So I have opened this form right here in a separate tab. I will fill in the details, and then the response when I submit it will be sent to here as a response over here. So let us quickly fill in. For example, the title of my query is Title is Service Disrupted, and now you have to describe your whole problem. And this is my description. Now when I submit it, I have to wait and go to Pabbly Connect for the response. And you will see in front of you that the response will be received, and here is the response. I have the webhook URL over here. This is the name of the account that I'm creating the Jotform into. This is the submission ID. Then this is the title and the description is over here. So these are the two things that we generally require. Okay, and now there is one last thing that is required to fill in when you transfer this information to your action application. That is, you want to search for any specific assignee. Like over here, you can see all the issues are given over here, and the assignee is this person, but who is the person assigned the reporter is this one. So for that, you have to search for the reporter because you will be needing a reporter's ID. So here, first of all, your action application is Jira software. The action event is, first of all, search user, because that's how you will get your reporter over here. Now, you have to click on add new connection because this is the first time using Jira software in this workflow. Connect with Jira software and then it will automatically detect. You just have to click on accept and give access to Pabbly Connect to connect to Jira software. Once this is done, the authorization will be successful. And then you will be needing the name and email over here. So I have kept over here the name of the person I am assigning this task to, and I have pasted right over here. So you have to search this name and the reporter name will provide a reporter ID. So when you click on save and send test request, you will receive a response and here the account ID is received. So you have to copy this account ID and paste it over here in your upcoming step. So add one more action step, that is going to be your last step. Choose Jira as your action application. Now this time you will be creating an issue. So our event will be to create issue. When you click on connect, you don't have to click on add new connection because you already have connected. So just select existing connection, save, and then it will be connected. Now once it is connected, you have to select a project, issue type, and all these things that are generally required to create an issue. The project that I am working upon is bug tracking. So that's the same that I'm going to choose. Bug tracking is the one. What is the issue type? It's a task. Okay. Now in case of summary, you will give the title. So you're going to map it. How are you going to map it? When you click on any empty step, it will ask you to insert data from previous step. So what are the previous steps? The search user and the Jotform new response. These were the previous steps before this one. So you're going to choose the summary or the title of the problem over here. You have mapped it. So every time a person fills up this form, and then the new detail or the new title of any issue will be over here. Now in description, so again you have to scroll down and find the description. This is the description. So you can set the priority highest, high, medium or low. Then you have the assignee ID. So this is the assignee. Okay, this person is assigning the one. But in case of reporter, either you can map it from here like this, or you can do one more thing, that is copying this part, okay, and pasting it over here in your reporter's ID rather than mapping, because even if you map it, it is going to be the same because you have entered the name over here manually. This is not mapped, so this is not going to change. Now that you have copied it from here and pasted it there, you can simply erase this step because you have pasted the content that you actually needed. Now no due date or estimate or any other field is left to be filled. Just remember this part that you need the reporter's ID. So we added the step of a search user, but we do not need the user because we have just manually added the one. It is going to be the same all the time. So every form that is going to be received from Jotform, an issue will be created, will be given to this reporter only. Okay, once this is done, click on save and send test request. And here the ID is created. This is the key. And here you have the link. Till here we have completed the workflow. We will go back to our Jira software and then over here we will just refresh this project and see, yeah, the summary is service disrupted. This is the key. You remember we had the key like this only. This was given over here, BT64. It's the same. Assignee is this and reporter is this. When you open this issue, you will see that over here the description is also given, which means the workflow has been a success. So we use the trigger as Jotform, completed a form, then connected it using the webhook URL. Further, when we received the response, we searched a user for the reporter's ID, copied and pasted the reporter's ID. So now you have just two steps left over here. The second step in the middle was just to copy the reporter's ID. Once this is done, you can create an issue every time you receive a form from your Jotform submission. So this was the whole workflow. I hope this helped.
So in this video, we are going to learn how to add Jotform responses to Google Contacts. Now suppose guys, you have created some kind of online form using Jotform and you want that whenever a user is going to enter some details and submit the form, automatically that user should be added as a new contact in Google Contacts. So let me tell you, you can completely automate this process. So in this automation, whenever a new response will be received in Jotform, automatically with the same form submission details, we will add user as a new contact in Google Contacts. So if you want to know how you can set up this automation, for that you just have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, here we are on Pabbly Connect's dashboard. Now to reach this dashboard, you will get a free sign-up link of Pabbly Connect in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can create your free Pabbly Connect account in just 2 minutes. And after reaching to this dashboard, just click on Create Workflow and give this workflow a name. For example, I would like to name my workflow as Jotform to Google Contacts. And then just click on Create. Now you can see that our workflow is open over here. And in this workflow, we have 2 different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those 2 concepts, those 2 principles on which this whole automation works on, where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's begin with our trigger window. Now the idea here is, first, we have to connect the form which we have created in Jotform with Pabbly Connect, so that every time we receive a new form submission, a new form response in Jotform, the details of that form submission will be received inside our Pabbly Connect workflow. And after that, using this Pabbly Connect's automation, we are going to send those form responses to Google Contact to add that user as a new contact over there. So let's see how it is done. Now here in Trigger window, in Choose Apps, search for Jotform. Select Jotform. And then in Trigger Event from the drop-down, select New Response as the trigger event. After selecting a trigger event, Pabbly Connect gave us a Webhook URL. And using this Webhook URL, we are going to connect the form which we have created in Jotform with Pabbly Connect. So let's see how it is done. Copy this Webhook URL from here and go to the form which you have created in Jotform. So this is a contact form which I have created where I'm asking the user their name, email, phone number and the company. After opening this form in edit mode, here in the build section on the right side of it, you can see settings option. Just click on settings over here. After coming to the settings page, from the left sidebar, go to integrations and then here in search bar, search for webhooks. Here you can see this webhooks option, just select it and then here we have a field of add webhook. So the webhook URL which we have copied from Pabbly Connect, we just have to paste this webhook URL over here. Just paste it and then click on complete integration. And this is it guys. We have successfully connected this form with Pabbly Connect. Every time a new form submission, a new response is going to get received in this form, automatically that same form response will be received inside Pabbly Connect as well. So let's do it. Here Pabbly Connect is showing us waiting for webhook response. This means Pabbly Connect is waiting to get some response from Jotform. So we'll just go to the form which we have created in Jotform, copy the link and paste it in a new tab. And here we are going to make a test form submission. For example, I'll enter the details of a user as demo user. This is the email address. And then this is the mobile number, a dummy mobile number. The company is, for example, Pabbly. And then just click on submit. So just now we have received a new form submission in Jotform which we have created. And because we have connected this form with Pabbly Connect, here we will see in our Pabbly Connect workflow in this trigger window, we will receive some response. And in this response, you will see the same form responses, same form submission details. We will scroll down and here you can see the same name, demo user, same email, same company name and the same mobile number as well. This means the step 1 of setting up this automation is completed. We have successfully connected our Jotform with Pabbly Connect and received the form response, form submission data. After this, let's move to step 2. And in step 2, using these form responses, we want to add this user as a new contact in Google Contacts. For that, just scroll down, come to our action window, and here in Choose Apps, search for Google Contacts. Just select it. And then in action event from the drop down, select the action event as Create Contact. Just click on Connect and select Add New Connection. Now here guys, we have to connect our Google Contacts account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, click on this sign in with Google button and then select your Google Contacts account in which using this automation you want to add these new contacts. Then just scroll down and click on continue. And as we click on continue, we will see our Google Contacts account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After this, the first thing it asks us is the email address's display name. So what is this display name? Let's read the help text. It says enter the email address's display name separated by commas. Example user 1, user 2, user 3. So to these email addresses, you can add some display name as well. For example, what we can do, we can add the name of the person, the first name of the person as the display name of email address. So here guys, you can see that we have received the response of the first name of the person from form submission responses in the trigger window. And here from these responses, we are going to map this response of first name and map it over here. And guys, the process of mapping is very simple. Simply click on this field and from the drop down, select the response of first name and map it over here. After this, it is asking us email address type. That is it a home email address, work email address or other email address. So I want to add home over here. Now here guys, you will see, here you can see an example, we have added some comma separate values as well. In the help text, you can see that. So if you are adding the details of multiple contacts over here in the same action step, you can add these comma separate values as well. Like for the first user, you can add a value, then add a comma, then enter the details of the second user, then add a comma, and so on. You can add some comma separate values of multiple users as well. Then it is asking us email address value, and in this field, we have to actually enter the email address. Just click on this field, and from the drop down from Jotform responses, select this response of email address and map it. Then it is asking us for the display name. So we want the display name to be the full name of the user. So here we'll just click on this field, and from the drop down, select the response of first name, and after a space, map the response of last name as well. So this will be the display name. Or what you can do, you can enter the details in two separate fields. Like here in family name from the drop down, map the last name, and then in given name from the drop down, select the first name over here. Then you also have an option to add the middle name. So if you're asking the user their middle name in the form submission as well, and you are getting that response, you can add it too. Then in the next field, it is asking us address of this user. So right now in this form which we have created, we haven't received the address. We haven't asked for the address from the user while submitting the form. So we haven't received these details, and these details of address are not mandatory, not required. So if you want, you can ignore these fields for now. Or if you want to get the address, you can add the fields of this address over here in your form which you are creating in Jotform. Then it is asking us biographies, birthday, year, birth, month, day, and all of these details. So we haven't received these details as well from the user. So you can ignore them too. Then here we have a field of gender. By default, it has selected male, but in the drop down, we can see all the three options: male, female, and other. I don't want to add any gender over here to the user because in form submission, I have selected for that. I haven't asked them the gender. So that's why I'm just keeping this field blank. But if you want, you can add a field of gender as well in the form and then receive that response and map it over here. Then it is asking us phone number value. So here we have to map the phone number from the drop down, select the response of phone number and map it. Then it is asking us phone number type, that is a work mobile number, phone number, mobile number, and what it is. So we are getting the mobile numbers. So I'm going to enter mobile over here. Just paste the mobile over here. Then it is asking us occupation details. So we have just asked for the company from the user. So here what we are going to do, we are just going to enter the name of the organization. So we have asked for the company name and map it over here. Here in this action step, you can see there are lots and lots of fields of details, which you can add in a new contact in Google Contact. If you want to get those details, add these details, you can create these fields in your form and ask the user to enter their details. And using this automation, you can add those details while creating the new contact in Google Contacts. So after entering all the required details, what we have to do, just click on this Save and Send Test Request button. After clicking on Save and Send Test Request, here you can see that we have received some response. And this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that the data which we have mapped over here, basically the details which we have received from a new user from form submission, using the same details, this person has been added as a new contact in Google Contacts. So let's check it. We will go to our Google Contacts account and we will refresh this contacts page once. And yes, here you can see that the same user whose details just now we have added while making the test form submission, the same user has been added as a new contact over here. The same name demo user, same company name Pabbly, same email address, and also the same mobile number. This means the automation workflow which we have created in this video is working perfectly fine. And using this automation, whenever a new response will be received in the form which we have created using Jotform, automatically from that form submission, we are going to create a new contact, add that user as a new contact in Google Contacts. Now here guys, after setting up this automation, let's test this automation workflow once in real time. Let's enter the details of a new user. For example, this time the name of the person is test user. This is the email address. And this is a dummy mobile number once again. The company, for example, this time is Google, and click on submit. So just now we have received a new form submission, and we will see as we receive this form submission, immediately within seconds, the person will be added as a new contact in Google Contact. So we'll go to the contact page, refresh it, and yes, here you can see that test user has been added as a new contact within few seconds. We have the same name, same company name, same email address, and the same mobile number. The same details which we have just now added while making the form submission. So here guys, we have tested this automation in real time and it is working perfectly fine. So not just these applications, you can connect plenty of other applications with Pabbly Connect. And one more important thing, you will find the clone link of this exact same workflow in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can clone the same workflow into your own Pabbly Connect account and use this automation workflow for free. Also, let me tell you, Pabbly Connect offers you a free plan. And in this plan, you will get some free tasks every month into your own Pabbly Connect account. So if you want to try and test this automation, you can do it for absolutely free.
Hey everyone, welcome again. In this video, you will learn how you can add the data at the topmost row of your Google Sheets automatically. So this data can be coming from any place like a form. So if you're collecting contacts or leads from a form, you can use this automation, and with the help of this automation, you can get the data transferred from the form into your Google Sheets automatically. And with the help of a Google Sheets app script, you can transfer or shift the data from the bottom rows to the topmost row of the spreadsheet automatically. So this is going to help you a lot in managing your data, because managing data manually, transferring data manually can be really time taking and tedious. So this is going to save your valuable time and efforts. So to learn this automation, stay tuned with me till the end of this video. To set up the automation, we are using Pabbly Connect, which is an automation and integration tool. And this is the landing page of Pabbly Connect. And I'm going to paste the link of this page in the description. And from here, you can sign up for free and you will get free automation tasks every month to test and set up your automations. So you can just sign up right now from the given link. And after that, you have to sign in and select the Pabbly Connect product. And you will reach the dashboard of Pabbly Connect here. From here, guys, you have to click on this create workflow button. Here you can give any name to this workflow. So I'm giving the name here as add data in the top row of Google Sheets. So after giving such kind of names, you have to click on this create button and you can see your workflow page getting ready like this. And on this page, guys, you will find these two modules, the trigger and the action. So with the help of these two things only, we are going to set up this automation. So guys, trigger is that event which starts a workflow. So here in the trigger, you have to connect that application in which the trigger event is going to occur. And the action would be an automated consequence or the response of that trigger. Here, guys, in our use case, getting a lead or form submission will act as the trigger to this workflow, and we are using Jotform application to generate leads via a form. So our trigger application would be Jotform. In place of Jotform, you can use any other form builder, or you can use Facebook lead ads or anything you want where you are collecting leads or the data. And the trigger event is new response. All right. And it will give you this URL. This is called as a Webhook URL, guys. And with the help of this, we are going to create a connection with our form. And after that, we are going to fetch the response of that connection. So to create the connection, you need to read the instructions. Let me show you directly. First of all, you need to reach your form builder. Under form builder, you have to click on the settings of your form. Under form settings, you will find this integrations tab on the left hand side panel. Click on it, and under integrations you have to search for webhooks. Okay, click on webhooks tab, and here you can see an integration is already up and running here. Let me remove this integration to show you from the scratch. Just search for webhooks under integrations page and then click the tab, and here guys you will find this add webhook field. You have to erase this field completely. Then you have to copy this URL from here like this, and you have to paste this URL here in the form builder, where it is here in the form builder settings in this add webhook field. Then click on complete integration, and you can see the integration is ready. Okay, now you can click on finish, and you can publish your form and open the form in a new window. And here guys you can see in the workflow, as we have copied the URL, it started showing waiting for the webhook connections response. This means guys now we can perform a test submission. Test submission means now you have to manually fill the form on behalf of any demo lead or customer, and the data of that form submission will be captured here in this response section. So let us just fill the form. Here is my form, and here let me just put the name of the person as dummy name. Here let me put the email address as this. Okay, then let me fill the phone number and the gender. Alright, after filling these details, you have to click on submit button, and you can see the form is submitted. Let's check the form if we got, let's check the workflow if we got the data captured of this form. And here you can see guys, we got the data captured like this. It is started showing the details of the form and the submission details. This is the name I have received. The last name is named, first name is dummy, gender is male, email address, phone number, everything got captured here. Now guys, I want to send this data automatically here in my spreadsheet that I have created. And this is my spreadsheet guys, named as Jotform leads. And here in this spreadsheet guys, now here first of all, you have to create these columns where you want to save the data coming from the form. So you have to customize this spreadsheet according to the form details. So here I have mentioned the name, email address, phone number, and the location, or the gender. Let me just change it to gender. Previously we are saving locations, so that was locations. Now we have converted into gender. And here we have this timestamp column. Here I have written timestamp, and I have changed the format of this column by selecting the columns, and clicking on format. You can change the format from this formats field, and here I have selected this format, the date time format, like this. Okay, so we have chosen this format here for this timestamp field because we are going to use this column into the app script. Now talking about the app script. To use app script, click on extensions, and from this app script option, click on app script, and here's how you can create an app script. So guys, Google App Script is a rapid application development platform to create lightweighted applications for your Google workspace. Okay, here guys, you can use small codes to create some app scripts or applications. Like this I have used. This is a small code I have used to switch the data coming inside the spreadsheet to the topmost row. So whenever there is any data coming from the form, it is going to be switched to the first row automatically. Okay, and this is the script for that. So you can just create the script, then you have to set the trigger for that by clicking on this trigger section. Create a trigger by clicking on this add trigger button, and here you have to select the function, then you have to select the event type as on change. You have to remember this. Select the event type as on change, then click on save, and this is how a trigger will be created. After creating the trigger, you have to click on editor again, and from the editor you have to run this script. Okay, by clicking on run, you can run the script. Okay, this is what you have to do first. After that, you can connect your Google Sheets here in this action step to get the data transferred from your Jotform to Google Sheets. But guys, here you can see we have received the we have added the timestamp column here because our app script is based on this timestamp. So according to this timestamp or the time and the date we are entering here, the app script is going to switch the data which was latestly fetched here in this Google Sheets. Okay, and it is going to see the latest timing using the timestamp field or the column. Right now, to send the timestamp data, you should have the timestamp data here also. Okay, so here you can see in this response we have received the data, but there is no time or date here we have received. So to fetch the time and the date, I'm going to use this action step, and here I'm going to search for date time formatter feature of Pabbly Connect. So search for date time formatter, then select the action event as current date. So current date is going to retrieve the current date. That means the date on which the workflow is running or we are receiving the form submission. Okay, so click on connect here. And here it is asking for the format of the date. So you can select any format. Let me just select this. Okay, then click on save and send test request. We have received this label, date time label, and here we got the date and the time. But guys, here you can see you have to enter the date and the time here in this exact format that you have selected here, which is MMDDYYYY hours, minutes and seconds. Okay, this is that format. So let me change this format again. For that to happen, just click here on this plus icon and another action step will open up. From here, search for date time formatter again. And here in the action event, select format date with time zone. Then click on connect button. Here it is asking the date of which you want to change the format of. So guys, we have received the date time label here. And I'm going to map this date time label here in this field to get it converted. Okay, so just click here and the previous step will appear here in the drop down. From this second step, map this date time label. Here it is asking in which format you have received the date. So I have received the date in this exact same format as already selected. So I'm not going to change this. Here I am going to change this format into the format in which I want to send the data here, like this one. Okay, so you will find this format here. Here you can see here we have these formats. So this is the format we want. So just select it. Then select the time zone. My time zone is Asia, Kolkata. You have to select yours. Okay, and I want to keep the time zone as it is. So I'm selecting Asia, Kolkata in both of the fields. After that, click on save and send test request button, and the date will be changed into this format. Now we can use it to send into Google Sheets. So to send the data in Google Sheets, click here on this plus icon and search for Google Sheets application. Then select the action event as add new row. Then click on connect. From here, select add new connection. Then click on sign in with Google. And from this window, you have to select that Google account by which you have created that spreadsheet. Then you have to provide some additional access to that account. That is completely safe. Just click on continue from here. And you can see we are getting connected with Google Sheets. Okay, so we are now connected, and here it is asking to select the spreadsheet's name. So when you click here, it will show you the list of all the spreadsheets that you have. From here, you have to select your spreadsheet's name like this. My spreadsheet's name is Jotform Leads. So I'm selecting it here. Okay. And then it will ask for the sheet's name. So I have already one sheet here. So you can select it from here. And now it is showing up these fields: the name, email, phone number, gender, timestamp. These are the columns. These are the headers of the columns I have in this spreadsheet. Now to get this data here, you need to map the values of these fields here in this workflow. So just click here, and from this first step, map the name of the person. Then map the email address. Similarly, the phone number, the gender, and last, here in the timestamp, I'm going to use this third step where we have got the changed format of the date and the time. So map it here. So guys, when you map the data here, in real time, after setting up this automation, whenever you get a new lead generated out of Jotform, these labels here will be updated and new data will be sent to the Google Sheets automatically. Now guys, here you can see I have mapped the data, and here we have this save and send test request button. So by clicking on this save and send test request button, you can send the data from your workflow to your spreadsheet, okay, to check your connection with Google spreadsheet, okay. So this data should be transferred here and will be switched to the first row. This is how it should work, okay, because we have already added and created the app script, okay, and we have already run it. So it should happen. Let us just check. I am going to click here on save and send test request, and this automation is completed. Our connection is working fine. You can see this is the response. Now let me show you directly in my spreadsheet if we got a new row added and it is going to be shifted to the first row. So let us see. And here you can see guys, we got a new row added and the data is in the first row here. You can see the previous data got shifted down and the first row is added with the new data as we have entered the data here. So this is how it is going to work. And our automation is completely fine. It is complete. And now guys, you don't have to do anything manually. You just have to set up this automation only once and the app script also only once. After that, it is going to work automatically whenever you are going to receive a form submission. And guys, if you want to use this workflow, you can use it, as I'm going to paste the link of this same workflow in the description. You can clone it in your own free Pabbly Connect account and start using this automation instantly.
In this video, we are going to see how to insert images in a Google document created with a template. So here my objective is that every time I have received the response, let's say here that there is a photography competition for which I am receiving the content. Now my objective is that the moment I have received this response, I want to create a document where I have already created a template, and then I want to add or insert the image to the same document. How can that be done? For this, we will be integrating these applications and we are going to do so using Pabbly Connect. So here my trigger application will be Jotform. My action application will be Google Docs, where first I'll be creating a document from template and then I'll be inserting the image to the same document. Now, how can you do this yourself? Integrate and automate this entire process. To understand that, let me take you to my screen.
To begin with the process, we are first going to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and as we do that, here we have reached the landing page. Now on the right hand side, we have options to sign in or sign up. Since I'm an existing user, I'm simply going to click on sign in, and as I do that, here you can see we have reached all applications page. So these are the various products of Pabbly, and here we are going to click on access now for Pabbly Connect. So as we do that, here we have reached a dashboard. So here I'm going to click on this Create Workflow tab, and here you can see a dialog box has appeared which is asking us to name this workflow. Now what is my objective here? Here I want to insert an image into a Google document where the template is already there. Insert an image in a Google document when creating it from a template. Now let's click on Create. So as we do that, here we have reached another window which has got two extremely important events. One here is trigger, another one is action. Now triggers and actions are basically those two principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger is when this happens, action says do this. Basically action here is the response of your trigger application. Now as per this integration, my trigger application here will be Jotform. Let's click on this. And the trigger event here would be new response. So once done, here you can see that we have received a webhook URL. So this is going to act as a bridge for connecting Pabbly Connect and Jotform. So here I'm going to copy this. Now I'm going to take you to my Jotform account. So this here is my Jotform account, and here I have got a few forms. You can create your own form by clicking on this Create Form tab. So let's go to this photography competition. So I'm going to click on Edit Form. So as we do that, here you can see that the form has the following elements: first name, last name, email address, phone number, and upload your image URL. Now I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect, and here it is saying open your form in the form builder and click on the settings tab, go to the integrations, search for webhook and paste the above URL in add webhook field. So I'm going to copy this once again, go back to my Jotform account. Here let's go to settings. On the left hand side you have integrations. Now here within integrations we have to look for webhook. So I'm going to search for webhook. Here it is. And now here I'm going to paste the URL that we had just copied. Let's click on complete integration. And we can see that the integration is ready. Let's click on finish. Now going back to Pabbly Connect, here it is saying that do a test submission so that the data can be recorded here in the webhook response. So going back here, let's go to publish. And here is the link. I'm going to open it in a new tab. And now I'm going to fill up the information. Let's say the first name here is Smart. The last name is user1. Then we have the email address, which is smartuser1@pabblytuts.com. And then we have the phone number. Okay, once done, here we have to upload the image URL. So I'm going to click on this. And now I'm going to go to downloads. So as I take you down, here is the image that I wish to upload. Let's click on open. So here you can see that the image has been attached. Now let's click on submit. So here you can see our form has been submitted. Taking you back to Pabbly Connect, you can see that we have captured the response here. So this here is the username. As I take you down, this here is the image URL, and then we have the name of the image. Here we have the first name and the last name of the user, the email address, the mobile number. So once we have received this information, what is my objective? First of all, I want all these details to be captured in a document where I have already created a template. Let me show you the same. So this here is a template. The name of the document is photography contest, and here we have from, email address and contact number. So whenever you're creating a template, the values to be inserted will be mentioned within these double curly braces. Now I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect, and here what is my objective? First of all, to create a document with a template. So for this, I'm going to look for the application Google Documents. And the action event here would be to create document from template. Let's click on connect. So here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with a Google Docs account. Let's click on add new connection, sign in with Google. So here now we have to choose an account. So we have chosen the account. So Pabbly Connect Drive wants to access my Google account. So now here I'm going to click on allow, as this is absolutely secure, and we can see that the authorization has been successful. Now as I take you down, here we have to enter the template document's name. So you can see that the system has already captured the name of the document. Now how do you want this document to be named? So I'm going to click on this, go to step 1 here. So here I'm going to go for this photography competition, which is the form title, put a dash, and then here I'm going to map the email address of the person. This is how my document is going to be named. Now the method with which I have added the information here is known as mapping, and this is important so that every time the workflow runs, it can take the new data into consideration. Now the new document's location. So here we have to enter the location of the drive. So you can see that this here is my Google Drive, and I want all these documents to be inserted here in this particular folder, which is contest demo folder. So here you can see that again the location has been captured by the system. Now we have to map this data. So for this, I'm going to click on this, go to the previous step, and this here is the first name. Let's give a space, again go here, this is the last name. Next is the email address. So again let's go here, and this here is the email address, and then we need the contact number. So this here is the contact number. Let's click on save and send test request. So as we do that, here we have received the response. This seems to be positive. So now I'm first going to take you to my Google Drive. Let's open this, and yes, you can see photography competition, and here's the email address of the person. Now as I open this, here we have the details. Now what is my objective? I want to insert the image here. So taking you back to Pabbly Connect, I'm going to choose another action step. Again, the application will be Google Docs. Let's click on this. And the action event would be to insert an image to a document. Let's click on connect. So I'm going to go ahead with the existing connection. And now as I take you down, this here is the document's name. So I'm going to turn this mapping button on. I'm going to delete this, and here I'm going to map the document's ID. Let's go to step 2, and this here is the document ID. Then we have the image URL. So I'm going to click on this, go to step 1, and here we have the image URL. Now what is the height and width? So let's say it is 300 by 300. And now I'm going to click on save and send test request. So as we do that, here we have received the response. Taking you back to this, you can see that the image has been embedded here. So this means that our integration is a complete success, but we also need to check the same in real time. So now I'm going to fill up another form. So let's go to the photography competition, open this form in a new tab. This time, let's say the first name is test, the last name is new. Then we have the email address, which is testnew@pabblytudes.com. Then we have the phone number. And then as I take you down here, we have to upload the image URL. So I'm going to click on this. And let's say this time the image here is this. So I'm going to open this. And once it has been uploaded, let's click on submit. You can see that the form has been submitted. Now what I'm going to do is to see if this integration is a success. I'm going to take you back to my Google Drive. And I'm going to quickly refresh this page. You can see that I have received another document. Let's open this, and yes, here we have the details along with the image. So this means that our integration is a success. Taking you back to Pabbly Connect, let's quickly understand what we have done. So here our trigger application is Jotform, where the event is new response, and our action application was first Google Documents, where we had created a document from template and then we had inserted an image to the document. I hope this is absolutely clear to you. If in case you have any doubt, you can refer to the workflow which is given in the video description. You can also clone the same and start to process immediately. Apart from this, if you have any specific integration to work on, you can always write to us.
Lots of people are facing this issue that whenever they are sending the messages in Microsoft Teams application with the help of workflow, with the help of automation, their team members are actually unable to open the images because these image links are not actually clickable. They will always have to manually copy this link and open it in a new tab, and they will always have to manually download the images. Okay, so in this video I will teach you how you can send the messages in Microsoft Teams application in the HTML format, so that whenever you are sharing any images in the message, the links will be clickable. Basically, your team members can easily access the images from the Microsoft Teams application itself. Okay, so here you can notice I have created a form where any freelancers can submit their designs, and I'm sharing those designs with my team over Microsoft Teams application. Okay, and I want that whenever my team members are reviewing those designs submitted by freelancers, they can easily open that images. Okay, so this is the dashboard of Pabbly Connect, and I have already captured the data from the Jotform. Let me show you. Here we have all the details of the form submission, that is the name of the freelancer, the email address of the freelancer, the phone number of the freelancer, and here we have the link of that image. And whenever I am sharing this image via Microsoft Teams application directly, this image link is actually not clickable and they are unable to open it. Okay, so how you can add the HTML tag so that this image can be opened very easily? Simply add a angular bracket and write img, give a space and then write src, and here after this equal to, you just need to open an inverted comma, and after this inverted comma you can easily map the image link. And once the image link is mapped, okay, let me first delete this image link. Let me show you here exactly we will map the image link. Simply close this inverted comma and then close this angular bracket. Okay, and this is how you can send the image in the HTML format, and then you will notice that how this image will be clickable. Okay, so let me first map the image link, searching for the image. Alright, where is the image? Let me show you. Alright, so this is the file upload, basically the link of the image which I have mapped here successfully. Clicking on this button, save and send test request, and waiting for that message to be sent on Microsoft Teams application. While the response is received, let me go back and check, and here you can notice now the team members can easily review and open the images from the Microsoft Teams application itself. Let us cross check whether it is the same image link or not. Okay, so here is the link. Let me copy which I have received. This is the same link which I have received from the Jotform submission data. Okay, and yes, it is the same image. Okay, so this is how you can compose your message into the HTML format. Basically, you can share the images along with the HTML tag, and this is how your team members can easily access the images from the Microsoft Teams application itself. In this video, I will show you how you can easily download the image from the URL received in the webhook response. So currently, I have connected Jotform into this trigger application, and with the help of this webhook URL, I have fetched the response of Jotform, and in this response, you can notice I have also received an image URL, and here I will teach you how you can easily download this image and how you can even save this image in a specific folder of Google Drive or maybe anywhere else. Okay, and that image should be saved very systematically along with a perfect name. Okay, so firstly I will show you this image which I am about to save into the Google Drive folder. Okay, so I have firstly manually downloaded this image. Alright, so this is the image. Now let us come back to the Pabbly Connect dashboard and let me show you how you can easily download and save it into the Google Drive folder. Clicking on this plus icon, and here I will search for the Google Drive application once. And once it is selected, firstly I will select the action event as create a file in a specific folder. Okay, if I will directly upload a file, okay, let me show you where is that action event of uploading a file. Okay, so if I will directly upload a file, it is going to save into a root file. Okay, basically it can be saved anywhere in this Google Drive. Okay, but I would like to save it into a specific folder, so that is why firstly I will be creating a new folder specifically for this image only. Okay, so let me select the same, that is create a file in a specific folder, and just like we have connected Jotform and Pabbly Connect, now I'll be connecting Google Drive and Pabbly Connect, and I will go with the existing connection because I have made this connection multiple times. Here you can see it is connected, and now firstly it will ask you that in which particular folder this file should be created. So firstly I am going to create a new folder in front of you into this Google Drive. Okay, so how about I give the name something like all the images submitted by multiple freelancers. Alright, so I have added this name. Okay, let me also correct this spelling first. Okay, clicking on create, and here you will notice my folder will be created. Let me first open this folder in front of you, and you can clearly see it is blank. Okay, now I will select the same folder, but before that I'll have to click on this refresh to fetch new items in order to get that changes reflected here. Okay, so here you can notice I have the same folder. Now I can actually access that folder. Okay, so I have selected, asking for the file name. So whoever the freelancers are actually submitting their designs via this form, firstly those designs will be captured via Pabbly Connect as a response, as a webhook response, and then I'm going to download those images, those designs from this particular URL. Okay, so let me show you the same. Firstly, I will provide the names, something from this Jotform data only. Okay, so I'm going to give the file name as the name of the freelancer only, the first name I have mapped. Okay, design submitted by, how about I write something like design submitted via hyphen, giving a space, and here the name of the freelancer will be added here. Okay, well, this is the last name, so I think instead of last name I should add the first name. Okay, so let me search for the same, and whatever the value I am mapping here, these details will be replaced automatically when this automation will work in real time. Okay, and here in the file type I will select it as drive folder only, and as soon as I will click on that button, you will notice firstly a response will be received. Alright, here you can see the response is already received, and here you can notice one folder is created into my Google Drive. Okay, let me first show you the name of the main folder which I have created. Well, it was all the images submitted by the freelancers, and when I am opening that folder, one more folder has got created for specifically one freelancer. Basically, on every form submission, multiple folders will be created individually in this main folder. Okay, and once the dedicated folder is created into the Google Drive, now finally I am going to download that image, and now I am going to upload that image into that Google Drive folder. For that, I'll have to search for the Google Drive application once again, and this time I will search for this upload a file action event. Okay, and again I will connect it with this existing connection only, and make sure if you are connecting this for the first time, you will always have to go with the new connection and provide the access of your Google Drive application. Okay, now finally it is asking the public file URL to be uploaded, and the maximum file size is actually 50 MB. Okay, and here you can also read that what are the file formats allowed to be downloaded. Okay, so again I am going to map the image URL from this Jotform form submission data only. Okay, so this is the file upload field. Basically this is the image URL, and again I am telling you that this should be always a publicly accessible URL, then only you will be able to download those images using this automation, using this workflow. Asking for the folder ID, basically in which folder you would like to save this image, save this file. Okay, so I am going to map the ID again from the previous step data. Remember, we have created a dedicated folder for this particular image. Okay, so I will be mapping the same folder ID. Let me do the same. Okay, and finally it is asking for the file name, so again I will write something like image via, and here I will map the full name of the person, which was demo. I will give a space, and then I will finally map the last name. Clicking on this button, save and send test request, waiting for the response to be received, waiting for that file to be uploaded here automatically, and here you can notice the same file has been downloaded, has been updated here into my Google Drive folder along with a relevant name, that is image via demo freelancer. Okay, so this is how you can easily download the images from the URL received in the webhook response, and this is how you can save those images into the dedicated Google Drive folder.
In this video, we are going to see how to convert a URL link into a hyperlink text. So here, let's say that every time my user fills up a form to buy a product, so I'm going to send the payment link to that particular user, but before sending the link, I'm going to convert it into a hyperlink text and then send it to him via mail. How can that be done? So for this, I'm going to integrate these applications, and here I'm going to use an HTML code to turn the URL link into a hyperlink text. To integrate the two applications, I'm going to use Pabbly Connect. Now to understand how you can do this yourself, integrate and automate this entire process, let's start. To begin with the process, we are first going to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and as we do that, here we have reached the landing page. On the right hand side, we have two options, sign in and sign up for free. So since I'm an existing user, I'm going to click on sign in. And as I do that, here we have reached all applications page. These are the various products of Pabbly. Here I'm going to click on access now for Pabbly Connect, as we are doing this integration using Pabbly Connect software. Now here you can see we have reached a dashboard. On the right hand side, we have a tab create workflow. Let's click on this and a dialog box has appeared which is asking us to name this workflow. So what is my objective here? I want to convert a URL link into a hyperlink text. So I'm going to name it as convert a URL link into a hyperlink text. Let's click on create. And as we do that, here we have reached another window which has got two extremely important events. One is trigger, another one is action. Now triggers and actions are basically those two principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger is when this happens, action says do this. Basically action here is the response of your trigger application. As per this integration, my trigger application here will be Jotform. Let's click on this and the trigger event here will be new response. Now here you can see we have received a webhook URL. I'm going to copy this. And here we have been given the help desk. Please read this carefully. Let me show you what exactly we have to do. So I have already logged into my Jotform account. And here I have created a form which is Spoken English Course Notes. You can create your own form by clicking on this orange tab. Now I'm going to click on edit form. As I do that, here you can see this is the form with the following fields: first name, last name, email address and phone number. Going to settings, here we have integrations. Now here we are going to look for webhooks. Let's click on this and now this URL that we have just received, I'm going to copy this and here I'm going to paste the same. Let's click on complete integration and we can see that the integration is ready. Let's click on finish. So once this is done, here going to Pabbly Connect, it is written that do a test submission so that the data can be recorded here in the webhook response. So now here I'm going to go to publish and open this link in a new tab and now I'm going to fill up the information. So let's say here the first name is Smart, the last name is user1, then the email address is smartuser1@pabblytudes.com and here I'm going to enter the phone number. Now let's click on submit. So we can see that our form has been submitted. Going back to Pabbly Connect, here we can see we have received the API response. So we can see that yes, here we have the user details, first name, last name, email address and phone number. And now here is the form title. Once we have received this, I want to send the payment link of this particular course notes to the user via Gmail. So my action application here will be Gmail. Let's click on this and the action event here would be to send email. Let's click on connect. So here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with the Gmail account. I'm going to select add new connection and connect with Gmail. So here Pabbly Connect is asking to choose the account. So done. And now here it is asking me to access my Google account. This is absolutely secure. So I'm going to click on allow. And as I do that, you can see that the authorization has been successful. So let's come down and here we have to enter the recipient's email address. So I'm going to map this information. How? As I click on this, you can see the previous response. Now let's click on this and this here is the email address of the person. This method with which I have added the information here is known as mapping, and this is important so that every time the workflow runs, it can take the new data into consideration. Now here is the sender's name. So I'm just going to write Pabbly Connect. Since this information is going to be static as it is not going to change, so that's why I have written this manually. Then we have the email content type. So I'm going to select HTML and then we have the email content. So here I'm going to write dear. Now I'm going to map the last name of the user. Here it is. And then I'm going to write, you have successfully enrolled to our Pabbly Connect Spoken English course. Please click on, now this here is the HTML code to convert a URL into a hyperlink text. So here, instead of this particular link, I am going to paste the link of the course, the payment link. For this, I'm going to take you to Stripe account. So here we have the spoken English notes link. The payment link is here. So I'm going to copy this and here I'm going to paste this. And then the hyperlink text has to be written here. So I'm going to write pay now. So our message becomes, please click on this particular link to make payment and acquire the spoken English notes. Regards, Team Connect. Now if you wish to add a file, so here we have to enter the file name and the attachment has to be here. Please understand that the file attachment size cannot exceed 25 MB. Now I'm going to click on save and send test request. So as I do that, here we have received the response according to which now a mail must be sent to the user. Let's go and check the same. So here we can see that yes, we have received the mail. Dear user 1, you have successfully enrolled to our Pabbly Connect spoken English course, and you can see that the entire link is turned into a hyperlink text. This means that our integration is a success. But we also need to check the same in real time. So I'm going to take you back to Jotform, and here I'm going to again open the link in a new tab and let's fill up the form. So let's say these are the details: first name dummy, last name newt123, then the email address is dummynew123@pabblytudes.com. Now I'm going to enter the mobile number and let's click on submit. And here we can see that our form has been submitted. And now I'm going to directly take you to my Gmail account. Let's go to inbox and see if we have received the mail here. And yes, here you can see dear new 123 and we have received the mail. So this means that our integration is a success. Going back to Pabbly Connect, let's quickly understand what we have done. So this is an extremely easy two-step integration process where our trigger application is Jotform, the event is new response, and then our action application is Gmail where the event is to send email. I hope this is absolutely clear to you. If in case you have any doubt, you can refer to the workflow which is given in the video description. You can also clone the same and start to process immediately. Apart from this, if you have any specific integration to work on, you can always write to us.
Not only this, but you can integrate multiple applications using Pabbly Connect software. To ask any of your query, you have to write at forum.pabbly.com. You can also visit our website, which is www.pabbly.com/connect. To get all the details about the latest updates, the integrations and applications, you can visit our Facebook group. If in case you have found this video helpful, then do not forget to share this with your friends and colleagues so that they can also get into automation and make their life easy. I'm going to see you very soon with different integrations and automations. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Take care of yourself.